into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh, a very good morning. Welcome to it. Happy Earth Day. Yes, today we celebrate World Earth Day. We should be doing it every year, but this, or every day at least, but this is the day that we focus on this incredible blue planet. Our power, our planet. That is the theme this year, and it's brilliant. It reminds us that the future very much is in our hands, and it's all about pushing for a greener world through renewable energy and some powerful grassroots action. And we've got an incredible lineup to help underpin that conversation today. We are going to inspire you, and I know the ladies are as excited, hopefully not expired just yet. We've still got another 3 hours to go, but feeling empowered by the incredible network around us to embrace World Earth Day. So I've got to say good morning to the ladies as well. My friend, how are you doing this morning? I know you're going to need a little help getting dressed, Carissa, but you've got to feel absolutely motivated by the lineup today and what we're going to be plugging into.
I mean, absolutely, Gray. It's so exciting that we get to celebrate the sustainability of the earth and also make efforts to do a little bit better, each and every one of us. And in terms of that, I definitely want to look the part to celebrate Happy Earth Day today. So I definitely have some gorgeous options to get through. I wonder which you would go for, though, out of the two in terms of accessorizing. Graham, off the bat, one or two, let me know.
It's going to be very difficult, and I always feel like I kind of influence the viewers just a little bit. I actually really like them both, and I think winter is absolutely cooking, but you ultimately have the final say. I'm not going to rest my hat on either one. I think they are both beautiful. I'm just so happy that you haven't expired this morning and you are actually joining us for the next 3 hours. I think the opportunity here is to get practical, and the opportunity now around us is to use the tools, use the NGOs, use those purpose-driven people to do something incredibly special. So we're going to be embracing that spirit of change and discovery, from finding out whether eating plant-based is better for your body to calling out all the change makers to enter Miss Earth South Africa 2025. It is officially open. So a lot of fun to be had, but yes, we need to get practical right now. One of us needs just a little extra help getting ready for her morning. And I love the looks this morning, but you get to decide.
I'm very excited about it because Graham said I am expired. We have to change that somehow at the start of the show, all right? Good morning and welcome, Mzansi. I've got a beautiful outfit to get started with, but of course, this is the base outfit, and it is Tuesday, so we're going to take this knit that we know Woolies does so well, as well as these light wash wide flared jeans, and just take it to the next level. So we've got two options to work with to have a styling solution, I would say. The first option is a huge leopard print scarf. Now, this is a statement piece of note, and especially paired with a pair of Western ankle boots, it's going to be so gorgeous. Also, the two browns complement each other so well. So that is option two, to throw on over and definitely have the winter boot going. Option one, rather. Now, for option two, this one is a little bit different. It is a scarf, it's a pashmina, it's a wrap, whatever you call it. Either way, it's just as gorgeous. We're continuing with the brown theme, and what we're going to do with this, which is really exciting, is throw it on over and then cinch the waist in with a skinny brown belt. It's just going to take the look to the next level. Maybe go from auntie to cool girl and make sure that I look the part. We're going to pair it with very cool chunky black boots. So let's see which look you're going to decide on. This is option one with the scarf, or option two with the wrap. It really is up to you at the end of the day. All you have to do is use that hashtag Styled by Woolies and jump over on our social media and let me know on Facebook if it's going to be option one or option two. If you go there now, you'll see me snapped in both pictures. I know magic, just to give you a visual idea of what the rest of the show might look like, depending on which path you go for. So please go ahead and dress me, your resident Barbie, for today, to let me know which look you are going to go for on this Tuesday.
When I'm choosing a winter coat, I like something that's got a bit of detail already, something that looks like a complete outfit. And who doesn't love a hoodie? I love winter fashion. Anything that gives you that feeling of like a big hug.
And on that note, let's get into some news to kickstart this Tuesday. Now, we start out with your national news, where President Cyril Ramaphosa has paid tribute to Pope Francis, hailing him as a moral force who championed inclusion as well as human dignity. The 88-year-old pontiff, who passed away from a stroke and heart failure yesterday, was the first Latin American and non-European pope in over a millennium. Now, Ramaphosa described him as a unifying leader who cared deeply for marginalized communities. On behalf of the South African government, the president extended heartfelt condolences to Catholics worldwide, honoring the Pope's efforts to create a more compassionate world. Meanwhile, South Africa's faith leaders are remembering Pope Francis as a voice of clarity in a fractured world. Anglican Archbishop Thabo Makgoba praised him as a beacon for the poor and a moral leader across denominations. Now, Johannesburg priest Father Lawrence Mduduzi Ndlovu called him a humble trailblazer who transformed the church, especially in empowering women. Known for his modest life in Argentina before the papacy, Francis, they say, was a people's pope who preached from the heart, not the throne. Now, his loss, of course, is felt across all faiths. In your international news making headlines across Africa, leaders and laity alike are mourning Pope Francis, describing him as a champion of the continent's dignity. With over 272 million Catholics on the continent, the Pope was hailed for amplifying Africa's voice within the Church. Now, Nigeria's President Tinubu called him a, quote, tireless champion of the poor. Catholics in Kenya, Ghana and DR Congo remembered his pastoral visits and commitment to equality. Now, his final trip to South Sudan and Congo in 2023 reaffirmed his love for Africa. Many say he leaves a spiritual legacy of hope. Meanwhile, globally, Catholics began 9 days of mourning after the death of Pope Francis, who passed away just after Easter Sunday service. His last public blessing drew millions to St. Peter's Square. And with his 12-year papacy now ending, the Vatican is preparing for the conclave to elect his successor. Cardinals under 80 will gather in secrecy to choose the 267th Pope. As tributes do pour in, many remember Francis as a humble reformer and protector of the vulnerable. Now, the world now waits to see who will carry his torch. We close up with a story, a bit of a heartwarming one. In a spectacle of joy and unity, over 1,500 couples said "I do" during a record-breaking mass wedding at the International Pentecostal Holiness Church out in Kanana City, Gauteng. The event, held in the brand new 60,000-seat dome, the largest of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere, marked a dazzling first in the church's rich history. Among the sea of white dresses and proud grooms were both first-time couples and polygamous unions, all blessed in one unforgettable ceremony. Now, Priest Vusi Ndlala called it a, quote, world record moment, with more than 3,000 individuals joined in matrimony. It was love, faith and tradition celebrated on a truly grand scale. Beautiful way to close off your 6 o'clock news, and we hope you say "I do" to the rest of the 3 hours that we get to spend together. But now, though, let's get into your sporting headlines. Here's Graham with the latest.
Thank you so much, Chris. Let's kick it off with some IPL action, and we've had plenty. Well, the Gujarat Titans, they've tightened their grip at the top of the IPL table with a commanding 39-run win over the Kolkata Knight Riders. Shubman Gill with 90, and then Sai Sudharsan, who's been a star this entire season, weighing in with 52, setting the tone up front before some sharp bowling from Rashid Khan, 2 for 25. They sealed the deal, and despite a fighting 50 from Rahane, KKR never threatened the Titans' dominance, and I think they are the team to beat. Now we turn to football, and yet another major moment coming out of Europe. Leeds United have now sealed their return to the Premier League after 2 seasons in the Championship, demolishing Stoke 6-0 and capitalising then on Sheffield United's 2-1 defeat at the hands of Burnley. So Joel Pirot netted 4 in a rampant display, with manager Daniel Farke now securing his 3rd promotion from the 2nd tier. Incredible. Now Ellen Road faithful can now dream of top-flight nights once again. Now we turn to the Laureus Sports Awards, an incredible moment and some major names being recognised. Simone Biles and Mondo Duplantis were crowned Sportswoman and Sportsman of the Year at the 2024 Laureus World Sports Awards, and of course taking place in Madrid. Real Madrid took Team of the Year, while Rebecca Andrade, Lamine Yamal and Tom Pidcock also honoured in the evening. Then Kick for Life received the Sport for Good award, and then legends Rafael Nadal and Kelly Slater were celebrated for their inspirational careers. So certainly kudos there as well. Now let's bring it back to football, and again, high stakes. Chris Wood scored his 19th Premier League goal of the season as Nottingham Forest triumphed 2-1 at Tottenham, now pushing them to third place on the Premiership table. So despite some early pressure from Spurs, Woods' header in the 16th minute and then a deflected opener by Elliot Anderson gave Forest the lead. Richarlison's late header wasn't enough as Forest now held on for a crucial victory in that top 5 race. And that's where we believe our sporting headlines for now. We'll touch on them around 7 o'clock. Brand new day, a lot of you heading out there. I'm sure some weather warnings to take on board. Let's get the latest from Carissa.
Thank you so much, G-Man. Well, let's get into that first bit of weather for this morning. And as heavy rain is expected to lash the coastal stretch from the Sunshine Coast to the Wild Coast, the South African Weather Service has issued an orange level 5 warning, and that is for disruptive rain from Port Alfred to Coffee Bay, posing risks to flooding and road closures. Now, a yellow level 2 alert is also in place for the wider Eastern Cape, while severe thunderstorms are forecast over part of the Northern Cape and much of the Free State. Coastal winds between Cape Columbine and Cape Agulhas may hamper navigation. Now, motorists and coastal users are please urged to exercise extreme caution. Now, before we let go of your weather, let's check in with that sunrise view to top off our 6 o'clock. And this one sent out in Keymouth. It is Omi. Omi, oh my goodness, what do we have to say? OMI to OMG. This is such a beautiful, beautiful way to kickstart our Tuesday. The wonderful silhouette of the foliage in front of the beautiful horizon, just with the clouds touching a bit of that sun, just telling us that Tuesday morning, even though you're experiencing 16 degrees, it's a little bit chilly, is going to be a beautiful day after all. So thank you so much for representing Keymouth so well, Omi, and we wish you a beautiful morning. And remember to share your morning view with us on our new WhatsApp line on 063 036 9649. We'll get into that at 7 and 8 o'clock. For now, let's have a look at your temperatures for the rest of your Tuesday.
Couple of weather warnings, but it looks like a beautiful day for most parts of the country, so go out there and savor it. I know a lot of you heading out to work, but as someone who's headed back into work this morning, and we are so happy to see your gorgeous face. Good morning, Zanele. How are you, my friend? Hopefully you're not expired, as I said this morning, but inspired by World Earth Day. How are you?
Oh, my beautiful babies. Luckily, I am not expired this morning. In fact, I'm inspired to be my best version. And honestly and truly, I feel like, guys, this is actually one of my favorite days because we get to have such really great conversations, particularly around our health. And I feel like today is going to be a good one.
I know a lot of people are knocking on the kind of plant-based door, and people
100%.
want to find out, ask those vital questions. Is it for me? Is it not? Have you dabbled, Carissa, in plant-based?
I I have not dabbled in plant-based in particular, but I am trying to increase my vegetable and fruit intake. And I do wonder if vegan and plant-based are the same thing. So this is, please, a question you've got to ask for me.
I've heard from many people on both sides of the fence that no, they are not. And we will ask those kind of questions. I have no doubt that being such a grey area, everybody has a question. Maybe we'll have that gem just for you. Zanele, have you ever tried plant-based? Have you gone full plant-based for a stretch?
I haven't gone full plant-based, I won't lie, because I mean, I still used to have like a little bit of milk here and there, but I am that person where I used to go, I think like 4 months without eating meat. So I was very much like dabbling in that realm, if you will, kind of trying like the corn patties, this and that here and there. So it is something that I have tried to look into. And I feel like, you know, my body did perform a little bit better, I won't lie.
Oh, wow.
But I'm very excited for us to hear what the benefits actually are.
Oh, well, we're going to get into a very rich conversation. Then finally, I've got to ask you, because you're going to have a whole lot of fun, and there is a massive, massive opportunity awaiting one young woman. Obviously, Miss Earth is back. You're going to be introducing us to a massive opportunity in the pageantry space, but I think moreover in the sustainability space.
Oh, 100%. I feel like this morning is going to be really just full of so many ways in which we can look after the earth, because the earth always looks after us. So why not us doing the things that need to be done? But on top of that, we're also going to be getting into a whole lot of advice that we can get from our dietitian, Megan, that is going to be allowing us just to have a beautiful morning, my beautiful family. Guys, are you ready for the show? Are you ready for us to be all about feeling good?
Oh, yeah. I'm very ready. I mean, this Tuesday could definitely get started on the right note. So straight after this, some goodness is waiting for you. Happy Earth Day. We'll see you in a bit.
Only you can make my day.
Changing. Change. Oh, not change. Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy Earth Day. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Yes, we are celebrating our beautiful planet, and the best way that we can do that is, of course, make sure that we take care of it, which is exactly why Feel Good Fam, we've asked you a simple question this morning, and I'm going to hop over to the socials to see exactly what that is. Well, we said good morning. Of course we did. This World Earth Day is all about our power and, of course, our planet. What's one small change you're making to help protect our planet from using less plastic to saving energy? Let's inspire each other. And of course, we've asked you to let us know via voice note or even across our socials. You can find it on Facebook as well as on Instagram. So really excited to see exactly what you have to say. I would say that, you know, switching the lights off. I know there was a huge campaign back in the day to do exactly that as soon as you leave the room, to use less energy. There's also things like when you're brushing your teeth, make sure you switch the tap off. When you're showering, reduce that time to about 5 minutes, or put buckets all around you and reuse that water in maybe your garden or any other area that might need water. Small changes that really make the biggest impact and inspire others to do exactly the same. Collectively, I do believe that we can make a change, but let me know what you implement in your life every single day, and maybe you too can give tips to others to make sure that we all crack this code in making sure that we celebrate Earth Day, not just today, but every other day. As we continue celebrating Earth Day, we've got to get into that conversation, and I hope that the grounds will be covered on whether vegan and plant-based are the same thing, but I know that Graham's got that covered in just a bit. G-Man, what are we doing now?
I feel like we're about to break the internet. That's how I'm feeling about asking this particular question, but I love the fact that you have reinforced every little step when consistent can make a big impact. And today is Earth Day, a global reminder that the choices that we make, from the cars that we drive to the food on our plates, it will impact our planet and, of course, our own health. Now, the move towards plant-based eating is gaining momentum for a lot of reasons, not just for environmental motivation, but for health ones as well. People are, I think, ditching the meat, dairy and animal products in favor of greens, grains, legumes and nuts, all in the pursuit of better energy, improved digestion. It's all about the gut and reduced disease risk. But is eating plant-based actually better for your body? And is it right for everybody? Because we know we are all built different. Well, to help us cut through all of the confusion, we are joined by registered dietitian and good friend of our show, Megan Pence-Clates, here to explore the science, the benefits and the realities of going plant-based, because it's not all black and white. In fact, it's all green, and we're okay with that. Megan, how are you?
Hello, it's good to be here. Well, thank you.
Happy Earth Day. I would imagine this is an important day for you as well, because you get to kind of bring some really big themes out. We talk about plant-based and often veganism as the same thing. How would you differentiate the two terms, or are they the same?
No, in actual fact, your veganism is going to be exactly that. It contains absolutely no animal products.
No animal product or byproduct.
That's
nothing
right.
that you can directly.
That's your veganism.
Okay.
Okay, when you're plant-based is where the majority of what you eat is going to be from plants.
Aha.
So it still does make, you know, a space for something that might be animal-based, but obviously really reducing it, and not necessarily even every day.
Again, I'm grossly oversimplifying it, but the one feels more of an ideological choice, the other more informed by nutrition and maybe sustainability, but they're kind of both in the same lane. So I think we're going to look at it from that perspective of what can be benefits and what are some of the pitfalls that we often encounter. And when we look at the benefits, why should we go plant-based? What is the motivation?
No, absolutely. So what is really something that's good to look at, if we just look from the point of view of plant-based, is that it is good, better for our gut. And we are also, and remember with that, when we're looking at it today being Earth Day, you also do want to see if you can eat local, and you want to eat seasonal, and you also want to ensure that when you're making these choices, they must be whole foods that you're also choosing. So we're going back to eating good home-cooked food that we are choosing, basically coming from our own environment here at home. So that's going to look at it from the Earth Day perspective, and then from a health perspective, it's got vast amounts of literature behind it that shows all the health benefits.
I've kind of almost gotten to the point where I see plants as medicine. I really do. And I mean, from a fuel perspective, everybody is slightly different, but in terms of the nutritional benefits we get from them, absolute gold. Are there particular conditions, pre-existing conditions, that benefit would be helped greatly by going plant-based?
No, absolutely. So the moment we start looking at the what we call the non-communicable diseases in particular, so you're looking at things like your diabetes and helping with control of blood sugar levels, and then you're looking at heart disease and helping to control, you know, maybe the buildup of plaque, for example. So here we also do see all those great antioxidants that we find in our plants, which we don't get in animal products. And that also helps to, you know, help to reduce the risk of things like cancer. So we immediately, making really good choices, and then we're coming back to our microbiome and our gut and the increase in fiber intake, which actually then also improves things like our brain health.
Yeah, our emotional well-being. I think we've
Yes.
established so much is going on in this kind of epicenter of our body. Can we talk about the 3 Ps? Protein, protein, and protein. Okay, where do we get it? Where do we get our muscle-building protein if we're going plant-based?
And I think that's very often the question that is asked, how are we going to get? But we can. So just to give you a bit of an idea, quinoa, for example, is what we call a complete protein. So what we're looking for in protein, because our body can't make protein, but it can take the building blocks, the amino acids, and make a different
piece them all together.
enzyme or protein or hormone that we need. But so what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to take in things like legumes, and that'll include your chickpeas and your edamame beans, and, including things like rice into that. So immediately when you have the combination, you've got a complete protein. And then, of course, looking at soya and tofu and bringing that in. Sometimes people haven't grown up with it, but give it a chance and incorporate it. And
Flavor will help. Flavor will help in that space. Yeah.
and that's the one thing people must remember. You can have the most fantastic flavors that come from a plant-based diet, adding all your herbs and spices, etc.
And there's no calories in spices and herbs.
That's right.
I've been told that many times. And
no salt.
It's good. Yeah, exactly. And it's worth kind of reminding yourself that you can still enjoy it. You don't have to only think about things from a nutritional perspective. What are some of the biggest mistakes we make when getting into the plant-based space? Because I would imagine a lack of knowledge is going to be a major stumbling block.
Absolutely. So what we often do is we'll go and we'll buy things that are packaged off the shelf, that have traveled a far way, and it has already been processed, but it is plant-based.
Yeah.
And so what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to move out of that and really concentrate on what's back home here and what we can use, and then incorporate those whole foods. And what's really good, we must never forget about plant-based, is that it makes us feel really full. It's got a lovely volume to it. Yes. So we actually also feel satiated. So that's a very important thing to look at. Some of the other mistakes is a lot of processing that takes place when it comes to it, and then adding in lavish amounts of sauces and salt.
Which often have the sugar or the high salt content in them.
Yes.
Absolutely. Love this. Ticked every box, and we're going to continue on this path. We are educating ourselves on going plant-based. What are those fundamental differences between veganism, which I'm starting to feel really is a cultural set as much as it is a nutritional choice. But I think most importantly, we need your input. So please join us on the social media streets. Let us know if you've tried, if you've made the complete adaptation. What has worked for you? What are some of those meals that you absolutely love that give you that complete diet? As Megan says, we want the 3 Ps. Yes, our protein, but we want the energy, the health benefits that come from a plant-based diet if we can unlock it. And of course, we are inspired throughout today. Zanele, did any of those little comments tick your boxes? Are you thinking slightly differently about your plant-based methodology?
Oh, I've been thinking differently about my plant-based methodology, forgive me, since forever, Graham, and those actually just drove them home, because honestly and truly, I feel like this is something that I could actually adopt one day, little by little, step by step. But the nice thing, Zanzi, is that we're going to be getting to know more about this plant-based vibe, and I say that because we're going to be getting to hear about just the different supplements that you might need when you do decide you want to go plant-based. And then we're also going to be jumping on into a little bit of a routine that can help us out when it comes to back and hip pain. Sometimes the older you get, things get a little bit cranky, creaky here and there. Well, we're going to be helping you out. Make sure you don't go anywhere. There's still such delicious things on the menu right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Only you can make my day.
Welcome back, you beauties. Hopefully you are inspired this morning to think about your planet differently, being World Earth Day, but also what we put into our body. And we are back with dietitian Megan Pence-Clates. And now it's time to talk about the fine print, because while plant-based eating can be incredibly beneficial, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. I think that's life in general. So how do we know if it's right for us and our body, and what should we watch out for along the way? So Megan, let's start with that. I think people can be kind of loosely differentiated into children, pregnant women, athletes. We love to have our little subgroups, but
Yes.
when speaking of a plant-based kind of notion, is it for everybody? Is it fine to take your child through those early developmental stages of their growth through that phase only on plant-based? Is this a stage-driven kind of question?
Yeah, I think it's really important that because of the increased requirements during childhood and pregnancy, etc., we don't want to minimize certain food groups where we know they can basically, the nutrient intake can be affected for that specific group. So when it comes to children, we are looking at higher calcium requirements and more iron, for example, even in your teenagers. So we want to ensure adequate intakes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the amounts that we are used to eating, particularly as South Africans.
Yeah, for sure.
So incorporating all the food groups into a person's diet, particularly if you have increased requirements, is a really good thing to do. But focusing on increasing the intake of plants in a simple way. It doesn't have to be loads of, let's say, salads and stuff. You can also incorporate it into vegetable soups where your volume is not maybe as big, but you're getting all the nutrition and then
it's called hiding the vegetables, Megan. We all do it. We hide the vegetables in soups and stews. Okay, we'll do that. And that says to me, if you are going to make a choice to go the vegan route, then you need the education. You need to understand what nutrients your body, your child, that phase of life is going to require, so you can offset that. There is so much info online, and I would imagine you've even stopped looking online because a lot of it must push your buttons.
It does.
Biggest myths and misconceptions when it comes to plant-based?
I think the one thing I hear most is it's expensive. And that's really not true.
It can be.
It can be.
It can be.
It can be. Quite right. And I need people to know that when you start looking and choosing local and you buy sensibly, and, you know, when you're not throwing away half of what you bought, then that doesn't become expensive anymore. And a person can be really sensible about buying larger quantities and sharing it. And then, of course, also remembering that there are freezing processes and you'll still keep a lot of the nutrition that you require. The other thing that also happens is people say, well, protein is an issue. It can be. But if you actually incorporate the right types of plant foods into, plant proteins into your diet, you will get the protein you require. With your very high intake, you know, you're also looking at something like calcium for some people, for iron, vitamin B12. Those can sometimes be the ones that we earmark and say be cautious of. But once again, if you choose wisely, bringing in B12 would be your things like your whole grains, for example, and your legumes, your nuts and your seeds. We can bring that in, also calcium with your almonds. So there is a way to navigate it, but we have to obviously be very good about our choices.
And it's worth knowing that generally our supplements are derived from these foods. So, and I think it'll probably push into the expensive space if it's come from afar and it's been processed. That's suddenly when the plant-based has that big, price on it. It's difficult to know how to round this off, maybe with the supplementation, because maybe that could be a fast track for people that maybe feel they aren't having those vital things like the iron, like the B12 that you mentioned. How should we approach supplementation?
Definitely, it's always a good idea to look at firstly what are you part of? Are they children? We've already discussed that. Pregnant people, we know they've got increased.
Cool.
But for us, the rest of us, be aware. If you're not sure, have a blood test. You know, very often, if you go for a B12, it'll pick up if there's a deficiency. You can then definitely take a supplement. Just remember that with your supplementation, always first eat before you supplement. Same with something like iron. And once again, don't just necessarily supplement unless it's a multivitamin. because if you're taking in a single nutrient over a long period, you might actually be taking in too much.
Okay, and then the body stops being proactive in that sense.
Exactly.
So many jumping off points, and I love this. I don't want this hopefully to be an intimidating thing, but rather exciting to find that path that matches you. Thank you for all of the people that you help daily and us. We lean very much on Megan, and I love the fact that we can get practical about these big choices and make little choices every day that make a big difference. And whether you are plant curious or already halfway there or have gone all in, Earth Day, the perfect time to reflect on how your plate affects your health and the world around you. We are all connected, and with expert guidance, some plant-based choices can be very powerful and doable. Well, let's see if we can inspire you with some full-on positive energy this morning to go out there and feed your entire block. Zanele, what you got for us?
Oh, my Graham, let me tell you, Mzansi, this morning, we want you to be a winner, okay? And this is why we always let you in on how you can play Powerball and Powerball Plus. And this morning, it is for an estimated 37 million rand in total jackpots this Tuesday. Don't get left behind, my friend. Let me tell you about those values. Play Powerball for an estimated 18 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 19 million rand today. And all you have to do is go and buy your ticket now in store or nationallottery.co.za. You can also use the mobile app, or you can just use cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. We've posted all these details on the Expresso show pages, so just in case you may have missed one, that you've got it all there. But my friend, Panda Push-Up Play Powerball Plus and Powerball for an estimated 37 million rand in total jackpots today, and you could win big. Don't forget, go and play now. Now, of course, you know that we always want you to be a winner, but we want you to be winning in every sphere of life, in finance, in just your emotions, but also particularly physically. So this is why this morning we're getting a little bit fit so we can help you with those pains when it comes to your hip and your back. Cape Town, help me out. My back's been giving me a few issues here and there. What's going on that side that's going to help us out 100%?
Oh, girl, I got you, and I relate deeply. So this morning, Zan, we're actually looking into simple exercises to help improve posture. And we've got somebody very special here with us today to do exactly that. With many of us sitting for hours each day at our desks, our back and hip issues are actually becoming quite common. And these movements are designed to realign and also relieve tension and, of course, support better posture. You could always have better posture. So we have Josh Latzakhan in the building, a biokineticist and a fitness instructor who joins us to demonstrate effective ways to improve our posture. Joss, what's up, girl?
What's up, girl?
I need to increase my posture. Is that how you say? I need to get better at it.
Yes. I think when we're sitting the whole day, we're in that flex position in our hips and our lower back, so that becomes like really tight, really stiff, and then leads to some chronic hip and lower back pain.
100%.
So it's really nice to get some movement in, some circulation. The body really likes that.
Yes, please. And I also feel like I'm constantly like this on my phone.
Oh, yes.
So the slouching happens. So relieve me. What are we doing?
Okay, so we're going to start on our mats. We're going to do half kneeling, so one leg to the front, one leg to the back, and you're actually going to tuck your tailbone underneath you. So we're getting a nice lengthened position in our hips. And then what I want you to do is reach your hands up to the ceiling, so you're lengthening into your spine and lengthening into your hips. So you'll feel it into that right hip flexor and right quad. And then as you take a deep breath out, you're going to reach back and come into those hamstrings, which all comes and attaches into that lower back and hips. So we're trying to just get movement around that hip girdle. And then you'll bring it back up all the way through and just get a nice deeper stretch into that side. And you can just take a few deep breaths here and relaxing those shoulders, but still reaching your fingertips up to the ceiling. And then let's go one more time, pushing it back. And then trying to bring your toes towards your shins. Perfect.
Oh, that does
Just
feel
like that,
really
a nice
good.
little relief.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then what you do on one side, let's switch to the other side.
Awesome. Fix that up.
Good, so nice big step forward and then reach up, get a nice little stretch.
So nice. A great way to start your morning, actually.
Nice way to start the morning. And then let's push it back to those hammies, beautiful. And then one more time, let's drive it through.
And would you recommend this for all ages?
Yes.
For all capabilities?
There is some modifications that you can do for certain exercises, but it's really important to just keep moving the body each and every day.
Yes.
And beautiful. And then we're going to place it here, both hands at the side. Right hand comes up now with that phone posture and we're turning into our shoulders. We're going to open up and get that thoracic spine to open and just get a nice little stretch. And then let's switch sides. And left leg and open up. And you can still drive into that hip. Nice, Krista, perfect. And you can even just roll the wrists a little bit.
I feel like I'm opening up.
Getting ready for the day. You can do this at the end of the day, whatever suits you.
Beautiful.
And then keeping that leg in the front, we're going to come into a pigeon pose. So we're coming into that external rotation into the hip, so just releasing it into the hip. And then what I want you to do is a thread through. So we're going to come into that lower back and the hip and get a nice deep little burning sensation. And then open up your hands like we did just previously. And then all the way through. Because when we're sitting the whole day, it becomes nice and tight.
Yes.
We really need that movement, that blood flow. Good.
Nice.
And let's do one more this side.
This is called threading.
Yes, so it's like thread the needle with a pigeon pose. So we're coming into that glute, that bum muscle, and then we're going to switch to the other side. And then we're coming deep into that hip so that we're decreasing that risk of hip pain. And open up. Yeah, because we're sitting in one position the whole day, so trying to get the body in different positions and different movements is super important.
And what does this help with? Blood flow?
Yes, blood flow,
Circulation.
circulation, range of motion, a little bit mobility, yes.
I've been seeing a lot of that actually on socials where people think exercise is isolated, but it's actually to assist you in everyday.
Yes, in everyday movements. And beautiful.
Sure, your mobility is good.
It's so good.
Yes, that's great. Give us a pose we can finish off on. Let's finish strong.
We're going to have one leg out to the
Okay.
side, and we're
There
going
you
to
go.
push back into those inner thigh stretches.
Love this. Oh my word.
That stretch we can
What
stay the
muscle
whole
is
day.
this? I'm feeling it. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Well, Joss, you've been incredible. And when a biokineticist says it, believe it, all right? This has been absolutely beautiful. I hope, Expresso fam, that you feel beautifully woken up right now, that the muscles are warm, that you feel very stretched out and ready to cankle. Cankle? Definitely
a
not
new
that.
word.
Tackle, maybe. Ready to tackle the rest of your Tuesday morning.
I like
Thank
it.
you so much, Joss.
Thanks, Krista.
We appreciate it. Between expired and cankle, I don't know where we are right now. But thank you for being here, Feel Good Fam. Ah, lovely.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
Here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and this morning we're diving into one of my favorite topics. It is the skin. Because, of course, my friend, we know that beauty is not just skin deep, it is an overall look into what exactly is going on in terms of your wellness. And we also know that when we talk about skincare, if you have the targeted skincare along with your internal wellness, together they are able to give you that bright and radiant complexion that we all want. So we brought along some experts that are here to help us, and it is lovely ladies who are looking oh so radiant. And I am talking about the CEO of Phytoceutics. It is none other than Laura Johnston, as well as the managing director and owner of Dermology. It is Lorette du Toit, and she is someone who has 15 years experience in skin treatment as well as laser. So we're going deep. We're going to understand exactly what is happening with our skin this morning. Everyone, let's give our guests a feel-good welcome, please. Ladies, let's jump right into it, because I feel like when we talk about skin, you know, there is so much to know about it. And so many people start their journeys in different places. So, Lorette, please, can you help us in terms of wanting to start a skin journey? Where does one even begin?
I know it can be so overwhelming.
Daunting
but
even.
I think the skin industry changed so much over the last 10 years.
That's true.
Even if we look at just the treatments that we have on offer today, they are so different and so much more advanced.
Yeah.
And, you know, previously when we started treating skin, we went and treated already damaged skin and aged skin, but not today.
Yeah.
Now it's all about rejuvenation.
Oh, and that is the buzzword.
That's the buzzword.
Yeah.
Rejuvenation basically entails that we are now protecting and preventing the skin from aging, rather.
I love that. And I think that, you know, I always hear people telling me, and they're like, Zanele, your collagen levels, you're this, you're that. They're like, look after it now so that you don't have to worry about it in the future. So, ladies, I want to put you on the spot very quickly. When did you start your skincare journey in terms of looking after your skin?
Oof, I don't want to give away my age here. I started very young, and I think,
Yes.
you know, it comes from education and self-education. So I don't have very resilient skin when it comes to the sun, so I started from the inside out, so with
Love that.
supplementation very early. Sunblock, obviously key, and then I actually just had a treatment with Dermology, which was wonderful, which explains the radiance.
The glow.
Yes. But yeah, I think Lorette will really shine the light on how early you start. But I say my journey started pretty much in my 20s.
I'm almost the same. I would even say my teens, I think.
Absolutely. I also think that if you have a skin condition that early, then you will actively start treating it.
Yes.
But if you don't, like me, when I was in school, I didn't have the acne stage. I actually was never taught how to apply sunblock every single day as a young. And I think there's so many of us out there. So I only started using my sunblock when I started my studies at ISA.
Oh my goodness. You see, this is why we want to educate everyone so we can all start at the right time. And Lorette, I want to come back to you just in terms of this word, rejuvenation. You know, when we get to our late 30s and beyond, that's when we actually really need to start looking after our skin. I mean, already you do, but that's when we're now looking at it in the best way possible. What comes next in terms of that specific journey?
I love incorporating something that we refer to as stacks. And that's where we're not just relying on one specific tool to create that result that we want, but we're actually now combining various different modalities in the same session. So we're layering them on top of each other. Then we are able to treat multiple conditions at the same time.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to come to you, Laura, because you mentioned something that I actually love, how we look after ourselves from the outside, or rather the inside out. You know, how we have a reflection of what's going on the inside from what we see on the outside. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
When your gut is in dysbiosis, it reflects on the outside. So things like inflammation, nutritional deficiencies can also, you know, cause lackluster hair, skin, brittle nails. So I think making sure that your gut is in a healthy state. You know, also, so your gut barrier lining needs to be resilient and intact to prevent toxins that you take in from leaking into your bloodstream. And when it leaks in, it causes things like inflammation, breakouts, skin conditions. So, you know, having that good basis of gut health is important. A good quality omega-3 for skin elasticity, also to maintain low levels of inflammation, is incredibly important.
So early last year, I started taking especially Better Gut in addition to things like omega and magnesium. And today I'm so grateful that I actually did do that, because a few months later, I was diagnosed with a few hernias in my abdomen. And then I had to go under surgery for them to fix these hernias.
Yeah.
And then within about 4 to 5 weeks, I had to go back for revision surgery. So my body went through general anesthesia twice in 6 weeks. And it really took a massive toll on my body. And I think the recovery process would have been a lot longer if I did not have a healthy gut to start off with. So my Better Gut and me, we like this.
I love that. I love that you were already looking after yourself, so it made everything so much easier.
Yeah.
And well done to you, Superwoman. I feel like that's incredible. Thank you so much, ladies. Continue going and showing everyone your radiant skin, because you look absolutely stunning. And thank you so much for coming and just educating us.
Thank you.
It is the phytoceutics and dermology families that are here to make sure that we have exactly what we need when it comes to the education of being able to look after our skin in the best way possible. You heard my friend, it's about the beauty within. How can we look after ourselves internally so that on the outside, it also comes out radiant and glowing? And of course, if you're someone who is on your skincare journey, or maybe you're thinking, hey, I want to get started, my friend, you can head on over to phytoceutics.com, and that is where you're able to find the perfect skincare solution for you.
Optimize your gut health with Phytoceutics range of pre, pro, and postbiotics. Use code Expresso for 15% off at phytoceutics.com.
Thank you so much, ladies, and we will continue to do a deep dive in the health sense, and obviously we are underpinning everything Earth Day today, looking at it through a different lens. But let's move from the skin layer to the outer layer. A little bit earlier, Carissa asked you guys to help her. Please choose her accessories, accessorize her and her incredible look for today's show, and we had these choices, and both really cool. A leopard print scarf and classic Western ankle boot. Love that pairing. Or we've got a color block wrap and then some chunky mid-calf boots. Both different, both really cool with a lot of impact. It's amazing how much of a difference just the shift in accessories can make. So thank you so much for all of your votes and for weighing in. Let's see what you had to say. Geraldine saying, I choose option 1 with the leopard skin scarf. A simple yet effective look. I like that. I'm the simple one. She's the effective one. That makes a perfect marriage. Janet Pringle saying, good morning, everyone. Have a great day. Option 1, amazing. My choice, less is more. I like your thinking there, Janet. Very cool. Let's move on to Hazel. Option 1 would look amazing. You can never go wrong with the leopard skin. I think people are feeling the leopard print vibe today. Thank you, Hazel. Martha saying simple, elegant, and warm at the same time. Option 1. Wow, I didn't think it would be as one-sided this morning, but we have seen an absolute domination. Let's see if anyone else is going to confirm option 1. Well, I don't think we need to do it. The votes are in. The people have spoken, and our winner shall be revealed. Da da da! It's beautiful. Yay,
They
it's
say
great.
to keep it simple, keep it beautiful, and sometimes for winter, that's really all you have to do, no?
Because often you want to layer up and layer down.
Exactly.
If you've come into your workspace. Leopard print, though, does land differently.
It does.
And it works for you. Yeah,
It's
you've
so
got a bit of
good.
spice, and it really does fuel that. Give us a little twirl, girl. Beautiful,
A 360,
man. Very cool.
absolutely. I think even if you pair this with a red lip, it could take it to another level.
for
But I
sure.
love that it adds to the basicness of the outfit, the light wash jeans, the white knit with some gold detail. Definitely beautiful with the cowboy boots.
Yeah, well, I'm liking the kind of tan tones, and the leopard print really does lend itself
Yep.
towards those winter color kind of profiles, which is great. And you would think that it would be it wouldn't blend everything, but rather jump
Yes.
off. But it ties
It
everything
just works so well.
together.
Also, animal print is a neutral. I don't know if you knew that, but now you know.
Wow.
It's gorgeous,
Well,
isn't
clearly
it?
the people weren't feeling too neutral about this. Look, absolutely gorgeous. While you do one last little spin, you can see your work laid bare.
Beautiful.
Absolutely amazing. And how much of a difference accessories actually make.
Right.
You can find your unique winter fits with Woolworths, and you can do it right now. They've got some elevated seasonal pieces and, of course, the layers in-store, online, or on the app. I know someone who might be a little jelly, in fact, of the look this morning. Zanele, I think the viewers nailed it with option 1 this morning. What do you think?
You are 100% correct, my Graham. I'm sitting here and I'm just like, Carissa looks so good. Oh my goodness. I know just how much of a difference accessories can make, rather, but I also know when you see just the little bit of, you know, a before and an after, that's when you're like, oh my goodness, yes. And well done, Mzansi. You did the right thing and we absolutely love it. You're also doing the right thing by being tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast show right here on S3. And we need to get into a whole lot of different things. What are they exactly? Well, let me give you a little taste, okay? Coming up, ABSA is going to be telling us how they are celebrating World Earth Day and just talking about how they are shaping a greener future, which is always so important, especially when it comes to our leaders like ABSA. And then we're also going to be jumping on into 5 ways that the world is celebrating World Earth Day 2025. Do not go anywhere. I always tell you this. It is an order, my friend, because I love it when we're together. We're going to take a short break and we'll see you in a bit.
When I'm choosing a winter coat, I like something that's got a bit of detail already, something that looks like a complete outfit. And who doesn't love a hoodie? I love winter fashion. Anything that gives you that feeling of like a big hug.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh yes, Mzansi, welcome to some incredible conversation, and especially ahead of World Earth Day, a day that is so true to my heart and one that I'm going to be celebrating. But I think we all have our role to play, and we've got an incredible person here. We've got Ewald Kellerman, who is the Head of Sustainability Strategy at ABSA, and he's going to be showcasing some of the initiatives that are going into this incredible opportunity of World Earth Day and also beyond, because ABSA have been doing such incredible and inspiring work that is creating positive impact. So, Ewald, firstly, how are you doing this morning?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
I want to talk about World Earth Day. What does this mean to you and to ABSA personally? And what are some of the big trends that you might think we could be seeing as we head into this incredible time in the year, which I think should be every day?
Absolutely. I think for me it is every day, so I'm fortunate that I can concentrate on that aspect. I think Earth Day, just at its prime, is a reminder that we're all responsible for the planet that we live in, and that our actions have a direct influence on both the planet and that the planet has an influence on us. I think for me personally, I've spent most of my career focusing on financial performance, and the next, big financial thing. But if you think about the last couple of years, I've started venturing a lot more into climate science, and we're starting to see just how interconnected we are. So for me personally, I've pivoted my career to focus on both climate and environmental science, including the social component.
I love that, yeah.
And I think from ABSA perspective, it's so great to be associated with an entity that's principle-based and that doesn't just think about the financial performance, but has a wider view on what our contribution to society is.
Ewald, I absolutely love that because it's showing me that ABSA clearly is more than just a bank. You're here for the people, you're here for our country and for Earth. So I'm celebrating that. But what are some of the changes and some of the impacts that you've noticed in this world of sustainability over not just the start of this year, but more so last year in 2024?
Absolutely. I think firstly, we are still a commercial enterprise, so we have to think about survival firstly before we can think about sustainability. So financial returns remains important. But I think the interesting trend that we've seen is that a lot of these activities that we're busy with from a sustainability perspective is also, very lucrative from a returns perspective. So it means that doing good and doing good business is not necessarily mutually exclusive. So
that's a win-win right there, man. Come on.
Absolutely. And I think the real sort of golden nuggets is where you get to intertwine those two. Now, as a bank, we've got a lot of power in terms of how we direct capital and which organizations and which projects we enable. So personally, we've played the biggest role in a renewable energy independent power producers program. We've funded a significant amount of affordable housing. We help to fund a lot of the water infrastructure, not just here, but in the 10 geographies around Africa that we operate in. So I think, doing our basic core activities of banking is really a way that we can live out our sustainability strategy in making a difference externally.
Man, this is the time to be alive because you're living it out right now and I can really see the impact and many are celebrating that. But when it comes to ABSA's group integrating financial inclusion into their sort of, call it a sustainable strategy, how do you think this is coming out in terms of the success of it? Is it happening?
Absolutely. So I know we talk about environment or the environmental aspects more often than financial inclusion. But in Africa, we've got such a beautiful demographic dividend.
Yeah.
And it's an untapped resource which we have a significant advantage over from other countries around the world. But we do struggle including financial or customers. And we don't just think about financial inclusion as giving bank accounts to underserved populations. But we want to create intergenerational wealth for everyone.
Nice, yeah.
And we can do that by allowing them access, giving them affordable products, making it appropriate for them so that they can use that as a stepping stone to improve.
Some of these strategies that you mentioned now, they sound incredible, but what else is happening when you're talking about advancing these sort of climate action goals? And I know that's something quite big on your list in terms of making sure that ABSA is concerned, but also present in these moments, because it's not just about making something happen, but you being involved in this, right?
Absolutely. And I think, given the last couple of questions, if you think about how we balance the climate action versus the social action, we are not in a position where we can follow what the global north is doing. We don't have the resources. We haven't had the time to industrialize our economy as much. So when we talk about decarbonizing or following a climate journey, we have to follow our own path that is unique to Africa. And in doing so, we have to take into account what does our economy and our society need. That means we can't switch off Eskom. We can't make Eskom out to be the pariah. Because we rely on Eskom for economic activity, for growth and jobs. So our role as a bank is rather to help them invest more in renewable energy and help society move along in a way that we could get to a fair and just climate transition.
Man, you're speaking my language. I absolutely love this. Lastly, before you go, I know good governance is obviously important, right? But when it comes to sustainability, why are these two so closely connected in your opinion?
So governance, I think, helps to underpin all of these activities. It's very easy to lend your ear to fake news and to...
Yeah, especially in this day and age.
Absolutely. And perhaps even, focus on short-term gains, which the next generation has to pay for. But I think what governance really does is it enables those controls so that you can build on top of it and you can create, real progress. So from a governance perspective, being fair, being transparent, being open, is a real fundamental core that we hold as a belief and a principle. And that helps us to make sure that, we're not just here for the short term, but we're here for the long term.
You are doing such impactful work for our community, for our people, and for our country, and I think the continent too. So I want to say thank you. I want to celebrate this right now, and I can't be more appreciative of the incredible work you're doing and the time you've dedicated to this cause, because being a nature boy, it is absolutely so close to my heart. And I think with World Earth Day around the corner, this is what it's about. Look how everybody is stepping up in some of the most unexpected occasions. And I think it's a reminder to you, Mzansi, that you can get involved and do your part. So whether it's as simple as making change, why not just plant a tree, reduce your plastic, walk outside, or just do something positive for our environment? Clearly, ABSA are leading the way, and we should follow suit. Nice stuff, man.
Thank you.
Such great conversation. It will definitely continue throughout until 9 o'clock today. For now, though, it's just gone 3 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's get into your national news headlines, where Transport Minister Barbara Creecy says preliminary figures indicate a national drop in road fatalities over Easter, except in Mpumalanga, where 18 deaths were recorded, including 6 in a crash on Thursday night. Speaking at the Kranskop toll gate, Creecy noted stable numbers in the Western and Eastern Cape and decreases elsewhere, despite heavier traffic. Now, yesterday, thousands of vehicles packed national highways as travellers headed home. The N3 toll operator reported 1,700 vehicles passing through Moy River in KwaZulu-Natal every hour during peak evening traffic. In other national news, President Cyril Ramaphosa has paid tribute to Pope Francis, hailing him as a moral force who championed inclusion and human dignity. The 88-year-old pontiff, who passed away from a stroke and heart failure, was the first Latin American and non-European pope in over a millennium. Ramaphosa described him as a unifying leader who cared deeply for marginalized communities. Now, on behalf of the South African government, the president extended heartfelt condolences to Catholics worldwide, honoring the Pope's efforts to create a more compassionate world. Taking a look at your international news-making headlines, where Africa is joining the world in mourning Pope Francis, remembering him as a humble reformer and a voice for the vulnerable. With 272 million Catholics across the continent, many praised his moral courage and love for Africa, especially during his final visit to South Sudan and DR Congo in 2023. Globally, tributes continue as Catholics enter 9 days of mourning. Now, the Vatican is preparing for the conclave to elect his successor, with the world watching to see who will follow in his footsteps. Meanwhile, scientists warn that snow cover on the Hindu Kush Himalayas has plummeted to its lowest in 23 years. The mountain range, stretching from Afghanistan to Myanmar, holds the most ice and snow outside the poles. Now, its meltwater feeds rivers that supply nearly 2 billion people. A new report says snow is melting nearly 25% faster than normal, and that's due to climate change. Experts warn urgent global carbon cuts are essential to prevent catastrophe for communities dependent on the critical water source. In closing off your 7 o'clock news, we head over here in a delightful flap of rebellion. Penguins from Australia's remote Heard Island are waddling in. It's where we leave your 7 o'clock news. Let's head into some sporting with Gray.
Thank you so much, Carissa. Let's dive right in with the IPL, and the Gujarat Titans continue to tighten their grip at the top of the IPL table with a commanding 39-run win over the Kolkata Knight Riders yesterday. Shubman Gill with 90, and then Sai Sudhasan, who's been brilliant, weighing in with 52, set the tone up front before some sharp bowling from Rashid Khan. And a 2 for 25 there sealed the deal. So despite a fighting 50 from Rahane, KKR never threatening the Titans' dominance. They're going to be the team to beat. Now we turn to football, and more history being made. Leeds United have now sealed their return to the Premier League after 2 seasons in the Championship, demolishing Stoke 6-0 and capitalising on Sheffield United's 2-1 defeat to Burnley. Joel Pirro netted 4 in a rampant display, with manager Daniel Farke notably now securing his 3rd promotion from the 2nd tier. The Elland Road faithful can now dream of top-flight football nights once again. Now, speaking of accolades, let's turn to the Laureate Sports Awards, and Simone Biles and Mondo Duplantis were both crowned Sportswoman and Sportsman of the Year, respectively, at the 2024 Laureate World Sports Awards in Madrid. Real Madrid took the Team of the Year, while Rebecca Andrade, Lamine Yamal and Tom Pidcock were also honoured. And then the Incredible Kick for Life received the Sport for Good Award, and legends Rafa Nadal and Kelly Slater were celebrated for their inspirational careers as well. Now, let's get back to football now, and very much current what's happening in the Premier League. Chris Wood scored his 19th Premier League goal of the season as Nottingham Forest triumphed 2-1 at Tottenham, now pushing them into 3rd place on the Premiership table. So despite early pressure from Spurs, Woods' header in the 16th minute and then a deflected opener by Elliot Anderson giving Forest the lead. Richarlison's late header not enough as Forest held on for a crucial victory in that top 5 race. But it looks like they're going to be playing European football next year. And that's where we leave our sport for now. I think the roads should be up and running. Let's get the latest on the traffic front.
Let's help you out in terms of what's happening in the traffic. It is looking a little bit hectic, so please make sure that you are taking caution. Let's start off in Gauteng, Centurion. Unfortunately, there's been an accident on the N1 southbound after Brakfontein interchange. The right lanes are affected, and as a result, delays are expected for the affected area. So you may want to take an alternative route over there. Then over in the mother city, traffic is slow moving along the various routes as we approach rush hour after the long weekend. The routes include Settlers Way, FW de Klerk Boulevard, and the M5. Wherever you're headed this morning, please make sure you arrive alive and that you buckle up. We want you to get to where you're going in one piece, yeah? Speaking of us being in one piece, let's make sure that we are looking after ourselves when it comes to the weather. As heavy rain is expected to lash the coastal stretch from the Sunshine Coast to the Wild Coast, the South African Weather Service has issued an orange level 5 warning for disruptive rain from Port Alfred to Coffee Bay, posing risks of flooding as well as road closures. A yellow level 2 alert is also in place for the wider Eastern Cape, while severe thunderstorms are forecast over parts of the Northern Cape and much of the Free State. Coastal winds between Cape Columbine and Cape Agulhas may hamper navigation. Motorists and coastal users are urged to exercise extreme caution over there. We'll keep you up to date with anything else the South African Weather Service has to say, but I love being up to date with what your side of life is looking like. It is absolutely lovely when we get to see what is going on, because the sunrise view for me, it shows you that it doesn't always need the sun. We just want a picture of what's going on outside. And thank you so much to you, Karen, from North Dean, where it's going to be 24 degrees Celsius. This is beautiful. How did you get the birds to be unpaid actors? Shout out to you, Karen, and well done on such a gorgeous picture. Even without the sun, the clouds are absolutely shining, honey. Send us yours on the WhatsApp line. It is 063 036 9649. Let's get into your temperatures, though, so you know how to dress this morning.
Well, it's definitely getting chilly, so here's something to heat things up for you as we step into the second hour of your Feel Good show. I want you to play for your chance to win with Powerball as well as Powerball Plus at 37 million rand in total estimated jackpots. And it all goes down this Tuesday, so please do not get left behind. All you have to do is play Powerball for an estimated 18 million rand, and then you get Powerball Plus, and that is for an estimated 19 million rand today. How you get your hands on some tickets? Well, you buy them in store as soon as they open, of course. Or you head to the website nationallottery.co.za. There is the mobile app, cell phone banking, or just dial *120 *7529 hash. And of course, that's for USSD. These details, well, you can find them on our social media at Expresso Show, is where you do that. And then Panda Pusha Play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 37 million rand in total estimated jackpots today. And I'm just saying you could win big, okay? All you have to do is play now, but then you also have to fight Graham in the line to get to the front quicker. Graham, what would you do with 37 million?
I would save the planet, my friend, because it's a lot easier than you think. Now, I think 37 mil would go a long way in that effort, but believe it or not, we don't need to go to that degree. We can start with small steps. How about 5? And we're going to give you 5 ways that you can celebrate and make your mark on World or Earth Day, and hopefully make it a pattern in your life. And then, of course, those that celebrate World Earth Day more than most, the incredible Miss Earth South Africa 2025 is open. And if if you want to make your mark in the world, have a purpose-driven platform to really change lives, and yes, help save this planet in the most practical way, this is your opportunity. We'll connect with Ella Bella from their team on the other side of this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for being a part of our conversation. And I say our, as in all of us. Today marks Earth Day 2025. It's a big one, a global moment where millions of people across more than 190 countries now come together to celebrate our planet and demand bold action on climate. In fact, we are going to be the action.
Absolutely. And you want to know this year's theme? I'm so here for it. It is Our Power, Our Planet, and it focuses on the urgent transition to renewable energy, but also the power of the collective grassroots when it comes to putting in some action.
Yeah, and it can be something small, whether you're joining a cleanup crew, maybe planting a tree initiative, just taking a moment to reflect on the beauty of nature, just draw in that green energy. Earth Day is a beautiful and very powerful reminder that every small act adds up, but consistency is key. So today we thought we'd spotlight maybe just 5 amazing Earth Day events happening around the world right now that are all about action, about restoration, and about climate hope.
Oh, I like that. Okay, first up, there is Earth Action Day.
All right.
Now, this is a global initiative, and it's launched today by earthday.org, and that is in partnership with the ICLEI. That is a network of over 2,500 local governments.
Brilliant.
And if you're wondering about the goal, basically, it's to triple global clean electricity generation by 2030. That's just in 3 years. No,
I will
5
do
years.
it. Yeah.
Which year are we in?
I know. Don't make it go any faster, please.
Sorry,
It's
my
already
bad.
happening at a rate I'm not quite ready for.
Now, cities from around the world are hosting energy dialogues and, of course, setting bold targets to move away from fossil fuels. And it's a true power to the people moment.
And we've seen the shift in South Africa. Well, I certainly have from my kind of very blessed vantage point of once energy was given back to the people. So thank you to our government for doing that. please, thank you. Thank the people in your area, because I'm seeing just social development happen on another level.
Absolutely.
Bring power back to the people. So let's cross the pond, shall we? Over in the US, the Northeast Earth Coalition is going all out in a place called Montclair. You'll find that in New Jersey. And the Earth Week celebration there features everything from composting workshops and native plant gardening to stream cleanups and a massive eco festival with live music and art. I love it, hitting every point. And it's the kind of community-powered sustainability we love to see, and something we could emulate here. Well, we do it down here. Yeah, we love that.
Green Pop does a lot of that. You
Exactly.
party, but you also do good.
You party and plant.
Yes, the two Ps. Well, up next, we have runners who are getting involved globally with the Earth Day Challenge by Global Run Club. Now, listen to this. It's a 4.22 mile, and that is symbolic of the date, which is April the 22nd. And what makes it really cool is that many participants are plogging. Now, plogging means is that they're picking up litter as they're jogging.
Cool.
It's fitness meets eco-activism. Really cool combo.
I think a lot of South Africans just do that anyway.
Regardless.
I think we're getting this mindset now. If you see something on the floor, pick it up and throw it away, man. Just do that. So meanwhile, in Laredo in Texas, locals are gathering at the Parque España to plant trees, to clean up waste, to bring new life to an important public space. And organized by Keep Laredo Beautiful, the event highlights how restoring nature in your own backyard can be just as impactful as global summits. We've seen it with the Run Your City events. When they do a cleanup, suddenly now the jacarandas are the only thing you see in Pretoria, not what's on the streets. It's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
Beautiful.
Love
and
that.
finally, out in Detroit, baby, the Wildlife Habitat Council is hosting a major volunteer day. Now, locals are getting their hands dirty, planting native species, mulching and removing litter to boost urban biodiversity. And it is a huge reminder that green cities start at a grassroots level.
What are you doing today? Just a little mulching.
A little mulching?
Yeah, a little
It
mulching
sounds like
over
what
there.
it is.
Yeah, man.
Mulching.
It sounds deeply satisfying. All of this speaks to getting your hands dirty, speaks to the earth underneath your feet, speaks to that green energy around you. But it also speaks to something that you can action. So if you're feeling powerless about the bigger state of affairs, do something. Whether you are going to do something out in your community, making a small change, even in your own home, in your space, there are so many ways that you can honor Earth Day 2025. I like that. Honor it.
I was about to say, I love that. Honor the earth and honor the day, and every day at that. And please, let's remember that this planet is our only home. Sometimes we forget it and take it for granted. And as today's global theme says, it is all about our power and our planet. I love that.
Oh, man, these conversations honestly have me having such a good morning indeed. Why? Because, my friend, we literally have a home, and it is Earth. And if we don't look after Earth, who will? That's always the question. So happy Earth Day to you. 22nd of April is where we come together as an entire globe, and we find ways that we can possibly look after the Earth in a better way. And we have some people who spearhead this, particularly here in South Africa. I am talking about none other than the director of Miss Earth South Africa, and I mean the beautiful Ella Bella, who indeed is here to tell us all about how actually the Miss Earth South Africa entrants are officially open, my friend, or forgive me, the entries. And now we also get to celebrate the fact that today they're going out to Soweto to do beautiful planting of trees that I definitely know are going to impact the little kids that they're going to be working with in the best way. So everyone, please, let's give them a feel-good welcome. I'm talking about Ella Bella. My Ella, how are you?
Very well. Of course, you've got to be happy. It's Earth Day.
Right, exactly. And you look like Earth Day. You have all the colors of the earth and you look so stunning. Ella, talk to me about this because I feel like it's so exciting that officially the entries are open for Miss Earth South Africa. What exactly is it that, you guys just pretty much use to ensure that the generations, in fact, do know that we are looking to be sustainable, but particularly for when it comes to the pageant?
100%. So, as you've mentioned, 2025 is on the go.
Yes.
It's our leadership and empowerment program. And for us, that is so important that we are empowering these young Earth warriors to go out into the communities they come from.
Yes.
And to engage with young kids, to plant a seed in young children's minds of how can I be more environmental? How can I reduce, reuse, respect Mother Earth? We're not trying to save the planet. We're trying to save people. That is very important. A lot of people say, save the earth, save the earth. No, we're trying to save ourselves. We're trying to give ourselves good, clean air to breathe, good, clean food to eat, good, clean spaces to live in. And it takes small actions every single day for our communities to come together to say, how do we save our people? Not just for generations to come, but the here and the now.
Oh, Ella, you see, this is why you're the director, Ella, because you have the stuff that is needed. Because, I mean, even I saw what you did there with the planting seeds. But also, on top of that, it really is about saving us at the end of the day. Because if we don't have an earth to live on, what's going to happen? We're just going to, be obsolete. But talking about, just about the pageant, and for me, I also think that, like you said, it's a leadership program. What are the requirements that are needed for a young woman to come and enter this pageant and be a part of it?
So we're looking for young, passionate girls from 18 to 28 that want to aspire to become an environmental ambassador. They don't have to be studying environmental science or anything like that, as long as they've got a passion and a willingness to learn more about the environment, learn more about their role in the environmental space. We will give them the tools, we will share with them what they need to know, how they need to go into schools. And for us, it's so important that we do the basics. And I think everybody can do that, not just the Miss Earth cohorts, the new cohort. But it's really about everyday life. I mentioned reduce, reuse, respect Mother Earth. But it's what am I doing? Where am I buying? Am I buying local? This is a Michelle Ludick from Cape Town.
Love that.
You know what I mean? Local designers, local businesses. That's how we inspire this behavior change that we are actually doing better. So we're looking for young women that are inspired by this interview. But that actually feel, you know what, I could be an environmental warrior. I could be an ambassador in my community. We need them to go onto socials. It's Miss Earth _SA, as in South Africa. And we want these young South Africans that have got a passion for people and for planet, because you can't separate social and environmental things. They go hand in hand.
That's true.
So we need to address both of these kinds of issues. So we need them to go find our entry form on all the social media platforms. We are out doing community projects from now till the end of the year. They build themselves, they build their confidence. And now if there are young ladies that are there looking at us, listening to us and saying, you know what, I think I could benefit from this. Those are the people we want.
They got to come through. Yes, exactly. And of course, there's always the judging part of this whole process. And I always think that, particularly when it comes to something like Miss Earth South Africa, it really is a little bit more different, a little bit more nuanced than any other pageant. So what is the judging criteria and how will the winners be selected?
So 100%. So because it's project-based, each of the young ladies have to do a project in their community, a school visit, a tree planting, a vegetable garden. They get judged on their projects. So it's not just about the beauty of it, but it's green and glam. So for us, that is so important that they are able to go out into communities, share a message, inspire young people, inspire corporates and people to get involved and to want to be and to build back better and to build back greener. If we have got people from all sects of society inputting into our environmental space, that's where the magic happens.
I love it. And Ella, we don't even have a lot of time because I love this conversation. Talk to me about the tree planting that's happening in Soweto today.
So we are planting 5 fruit trees with a couple of partners. We've got Samsonite, Skin Renewal, and we are going out and making sure that we are planting not just fruit trees, but we're going out and we're making sure that these young children can pick their own fruit from trees that are in their school, in their space. So we'll be in Klipspruit, Soweto today, planting those trees, planting those seeds of hope, and just making sure that we celebrate everything that is green and glam.
I love that. And like you said, Miss Earth _SA on social media,
100%.
and that's where they can find the entry form, correct? Amazing. Ella Bella, thank you for the beautiful work that you are doing. You and your Earth fairies looking after us even though, you know, some of us, we need to catch up to you guys. But thank you, like you said, for planting those seeds of hope and planting the seeds of sustainability.
100%.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Mzansi, did you hear that? Miss Earth South Africa, it is officially open. The entries are there and they're waiting for you on Miss Earth _SA. And young ladies 18 to 28, you can head on over and be a part of this beautiful process that really is about saving the earth. But as you heard from Ella Bella, the director of Miss Earth South Africa, it's all about saving humans, saving all of us, so that we always have a home to live on, okay? It is so lovely to be able to celebrate Earth Day the way that we are today. And in 2025, you heard, my friend, it is all about that power that we have to truly have a sustainable future. Right about now, though, we have a delicious future in store for us here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. My KTZ family, what's still coming up on the show?
We are just so excited. I can remember when Ella was enjoying her time as a Miss Earth person. If you want to know what that platform can do, just look at her as a working example of how much impact you can make. Absolutely beautiful.
So cute.
And now we want to take a culinary turn. Ratumetse Mokwena from the Colour Your Plate with Ku Odyssey is here. And yes, she will cook as
I
well.
can't wait for the cooking because, listen, we're getting into a chicken dish, but one like no other because we're also adding apple and beets to it. So it's going to be sweet and creamy and tangy. So incredibly good. I can't wait to get into this, although I hope Zanele will send us some because we'll just be watching, really.
Overnight. It can stay warm if you put it in a little kind of heater bucky thing. We can do this, Zanele. We can do this. We start cooking on the other side. You'll see now.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
And when it comes to allergies, sometimes all you can do is laugh. And our next guest knows that all too well. Nathan Molefe is a popular skits content creator whose hilarious take on seasonal allergies has gone viral on TikTok. But behind the laughs is a serious story. From childhood eye damage to life-changing symptoms, today he's sharing how he's finally found a no-brainer solution to help him live his best life despite his allergies. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you for having me.
Don't worry, I won't make you tell us a joke, okay? It's fine. We'll just have a chat. It's going to be cool. So great to have you on the couch.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we know that you've made us laugh with your allergy content online, but like I mentioned, it's a bit of a serious matter, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me a bit more about your experience with your allergy journey. What's that been like?
So growing up, I used to suffer from rhinitis. My whole face used to be super itchy, to a point whereby I used to rub my eyes very roughly. And I used to do that like daily, and then it messed up my eyesight. That's the reason why I wear spectacles today.
Wow.
So I got a condition called keratoconus, whereby my cornea is no longer like a normal shape, it's more like a cone shape. So it was caused by all the rubbing, and yeah, so here I am.
Here you are today, and that was caused by your severe allergies, right? Now, Nathan, what are some of the main triggers that you have identified to really set you off, and also, how does it affect your daily routine?
Well, my main trigger, I'd say, is pollen. But what I realized is that it's really a journey, because I recently got a pet. His name is Bruno. Love him to bits.
Oh, hi, Bruno.
Love him to bits. So I never thought I'd have an allergy to pets, you know? So it's really crazy. I was like, oh my God, I now have an allergy to dogs.
Sure.
So when it comes to my daily life, I love the fact that Telfast, I can still go to gym. I can still do my reading. I can still run my errands as normal. I don't have to think about sleeping, you know. I'm just always active in the moment. So
absolutely.
That's
you can
one thing
still
I
pet
like.
Bruno, most importantly.
The most important
those
one.
cuddles, and of
Yes.
course provide us with all of the content.
Absolutely.
I really wonder what took you to taking that journey online and sharing it with the rest of Mzansi and the world.
Well, I was just trying it out, you know. I never really thought it would happen, because it was a new app. I was like, you know what, let me just try this thing out, and of which I did. So here I am.
Here you are. And
Yeah.
what was people's reception? Were they like, that's so relatable, oh my goodness?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did that sort of encourage you to make more content around this experience you
Yes,
have?
because I found that I'm not the only person who suffers from allergies and stuff, you know. So I just wanted to let people know that it's actually okay, you know. You're not alone. There's help out there.
I love it, Nathan, because I think social media does connect us in that way. I mean, when you were younger, I feel like it would have made such a difference to see an older Nathan on social media showing his experience, so you also know that you are not alone in this suffering that you were going through.
Absolutely.
But you've recently started Telfast. What's your experience been like, and how has it changed since that?
Since I'm a very active person, I love the fact that it doesn't affect my concentration. That's one thing I love about it. And also, it's fast, it's very fast. You know, I take it and it lasts for like 24 hours. Yeah, I just love the fact that it doesn't affect my concentration, because that's been one of the major issues I had with allergy medication.
Absolutely.
So Telfast has been great.
I love that for you. And also for other people that are now looking, going, yes, there's finding a solution that I don't have to choose sleep as an option or try to
100%.
really keep my eyes open.
Yes.
So thank you, Nathan.
Thank you
and
for
please
having me.
continue making us laugh.
Definitely.
Even through the pain and the suffering, we love to see it, man. Well, there you have it. With faster, non-drowsy relief that lasts all day, Telfast is really a no-brainer. For anyone navigating allergy season, talk to your pharmacist or even your healthcare professional and learn how to stay ahead of the game. Because when you're prepared, allergies do not stand a chance. Let me tell you that much, because nothing beats Telfast.
Allergies getting in the way of your family's best moments? Help them get back to enjoying life's every moment with fast, non-drowsy, 24-hour allergy relief. Unleash their potential with Telfast.
That's correct, okay? We don't want no allergies, honey. We want to be free and unleash our potential indeed. You're on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and this morning we are chatting to a lovely lady from Color Your Plate with Koo. She's someone who has been serving up bold flavors, delicious dishes, and colorful plates. And one thing I know about Ritubetsu Makwana is that when she is in the kitchen, honey, she's her happiest, but she's also doing the things that need to be done. And this is why we're catching up with her to find out how has the journey been, but also what does the future have in store? Because honestly and truly, she is a go-getter, which is why she is on the show. Everybody, let's give her a feel-good welcome, please. Ritubetsu, how are you, my babe?
I'm absolutely amazing. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You look gorgeous.
You look feel good.
Well, girl.
I mean, hey.
I'm feeling good because we're going to be eating your food soon. Yes.
I mean, why not?
But honey, let's jump right into this, because I feel like, you know, your journey on Color Your Plate with Koo has been absolutely amazing.
It has been.
Talk to us a little bit about it. You know, what is something that we don't know in terms of just watching? What's happening behind the scenes?
Oh my goodness. I absolutely respect what you guys do.
Yeah.
Because people think it's actually, it's not a walk in the park. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I can imagine.
Sure, it's a lot of work. It's absolutely nothing like what you do when you cook it back at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine, especially because there's all the lights, the camera, the action, the color.
looking pretty, sweating.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
But you're doing it with grace, my darling.
And with love.
Yeah, exactly.
And with love.
Exactly. And that comes through, I think, in terms of just how much you love cooking and how much you love what you're doing. You know, what was it, though, that made you really decide that you wanted to enter Color Your Plate with Koo? And how did you feel when you found out that you were part of it?
When I actually got to enter, I was actually in a very dark space at that time.
Really?
Yeah. And I felt actually needed to realign myself with actually being the person that I am.
Sure.
And I felt it's only best to do that with actually what you actually know. So yeah, that's how I got to enter.
Yeah.
And when I got to know that I'm actually part of the top finalists,
Yes.
And I was excited. It was a good feeling.
Did you cry?
At that time, I didn't.
Okay.
At that time, I didn't.
Fair enough, fair
I
enough.
didn't.
Strong girl, strong
I didn't.
girl.
I didn't.
like
No.
your word.
At that time, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it had not sunk in.
Oh, I get that.
But as time went by, oh no, shame, I became a crybaby.
Really? I love the honesty. I love the honesty. But I mean, I get it. It's also such a huge, huge platform.
is.
And it's a really great opportunity. And especially for someone as talented as you, which I love.
I don't even have culinary experience.
Do you see this?
Hands, I'm saying it was just godly divine. Like, you know, hands I cried. Hands I cried.
Hands I cried. I
Hands
get
I
it.
cried.
I get it,
You
baby
get it, you know?
girl. 100%.
God did the things there.
You know what I mean? And this is why then I want to ask you, just in terms of you and actually getting your culinary experience, even though you don't 100%, you know, when you didn't 100% go to school and things like that.
No.
Talk to me about just, you know, where it even came from for you to be like, okay, I'm jumping into this. I'm going to teach myself how to cook and I'm going to become a culinary queen.
Obviously, you know, when you grow up, you have that thing because, I mean, you're wanyana, you know? So it's expected that you need to know how to cook and. So it was just that when it started. But as time went by, I actually realized that I actually love this thing. You know, that's my happiest place. So yeah, I never stopped at that time.
I love that. And how long have you been cooking for?
It's been years.
Really?
It's been years.
That's incredible.
Started at a very young age, so it's been years.
And you're doing amazing, my babe. I mean, look at where you are now.
I mean,
on an
see
entire
that?
cooking show. Exactly.
You know?
But talk to me as well, just about, you know, how you describe your cooking style, because I feel like it's very different to a lot of people.
It
So
is.
what would you use to describe it exactly?
I cook with love. I cook with love. I can't say there is don't cook with love, but I cook with
I get that. But do you find that you use a lot of flavors from when you were younger? Do you like to, you know, sort of experiment when it comes to just different cuisines and things like that?
Now that I was on Color Your Plate with Koo, I'll definitely love to experience. But prior, it was that thing, keep it basic, keep it, you know, just how you know it.
I love
Don't
that.
ruin it, but obviously just try to change it a bit.
Well, they always say, kiss, keep it simple, stupid. So I get that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so that's what it was. That's what it's
basics.
been.
Yes.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with the basics.
Talk to me, in fact, about, you know, what are the basics of when you create a plate? Because now you're there, you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to create something. What's the first thing that you think of and that you're like, okay, cool, I need to get this right before we can do everything else?
Normally, when I start cooking, I think of, like, whatever it is that's probably going to take the longest time.
Yeah.
So I would obviously start with that and,
Okay.
you know, end with, like, your basic elements so that you obviously get your dish ready in time, you know? So, yeah, that's basically my styling to cooking.
We love a good strategy.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
it gets things right.
Exactly.
You know?
And especially when there's so much pressure in the kitchen, like Color Your Plate with Koo. Talk to us about that pressure. Because, I mean, for me, I have pressure cooking in the kitchen, right? Because I only do cooking once a year, around Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So when I have to cook now...
And for a
there's
lot of people.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's pressure of like, are they going to like the colors? Are they going to like the dish?
flavors.
Yes, all of those things. So when you're in Color Your Plate with Koo, talk to me about that pressure. What is it like?
Like I said, that was crazy. Like being in that kitchen is very crazy.
Yeah.
But obviously, it actually pushes you, you know, beyond your elements because you become excited to actually explore. You know, you want to do more. Even like you can actually walk in with a game plan, but whilst you're still busy, you're gonna feel like, actually, no, let me, you know, top it up a bit or change it up a bit. Yeah. Hence, I'm saying like it just takes you to a different, complete world.
I love that. And it's almost like a little bit of a different level. That's what it sounds like as well.
It is. Like I said, it's nothing like what you do back at home. You get to realize that it's actually real.
Yes.
So even when you go to these restaurants, guys, respect these chefs.
Sana.
Respect
Trust me,
the
I do.
chefs.
As someone who steps into the kitchen once a year, I respect everyone that cooks, Sana.
Because you know the pressure, right?
Exactly. Yeah, of just that one day in the year.
I mean, but it's like many hours of it.
100%.
Right?
But babe, talk to me as well just about, you know, you and Koo products. I mean, I know I grew up with Koo baked beans being stocked in our family home all the time. What is your #1 Koo product that you always just go to?
It has to be the baked beans.
Right.
It has to be the baked beans. Tell me of any household that did not have the baked beans. And you remember growing up, they would do that salad, nyana. Is it still a salad? Where they would mix
The one
baked
with
beans
mayo.
and mayo.
No.
Yeah, now, no. Back then it was a salad. man.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe.
But now, no. Now I'm not even sure.
I think because you've learned so many things on how to plate with food. You got to say it's a salad. There's so many different things you can do with it.
Can't be that.
Exactly.
No, can't be that.
People are going to come for us, but it's fine.
No, they can still do it.
Yeah.
We're just saying we're not sure if it's like is it
Does
a
it fall into
salad
category?
You know,
we don't
is
know.
it an element, nyana? What is it?
Maybe a little appetizer. We don't know. But babe, I also want to know, just in terms of the way that you cook now, how has Color Your Plate with Koo kind of changed that a little bit? I think we kind of spoke about, the ways in which it's kind of made you kind of feel as a cook. But now that you're experimenting a little bit more, what do you see yourself doing more of when you are, outside of Color Your Plate with Koo?
My biggest thing was presentation whenever I'd cook, right? So now that I was on Color Your Plate with Koo, I got to be like, actually, I need to focus more on that.
Yes.
And aside from that, I felt like, actually, let me just explore the avenues, right? And perhaps even enroll myself perhaps in one of the culinary schools. So I'm still sassing. So yeah, I actually took it serious.
Yes, I love that.
Right?
Well, my babe, I am very proud of you, and your journey has been so lovely to watch. And honestly, I feel like you just being the vibrant queen that you are, that makes vibrant dishes, that your future is so bright.
Thank you, I receive.
And I know my future is bright because you're going to be cooking for us.
And you're going to be enjoying it.
Oh, I'm so excited, Kesana. It is going to be absolutely delicious. And this is why you got to stick around, because we have a delicious recipe that this queen right here is going to be getting us into. And Mzansi, we only ever give you the best, so do stick around. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we still got a whole lot more feeling good right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Catch Color Your Plate with Koo this Tuesday evening at 7:30.
I want to see family in your meals. I'm just watching how nervous they are.
The atmosphere is intense.
I'm so overwhelmed today.
I'm panicking right now.
I just made a big mistake.
It looks like we've got a little thief because ingredients are going missing.
It's a me and you thing, okay? Don't tell anybody.
Catch Color Your Plate with Koo this Tuesday evening at 7:30 only on SABC2. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beauties. We've had a little bit of everything and we've got a lot more to come in every space, but our main focus, World Earth Day today, and we're looking at it from a sustainability perspective, a health perspective, making the right kind of choices, but I think most importantly, just make a choice. Act and make those small choices every day so that it is consistent. And you can make a choice right now to go and get your Powerball and Powerball Plus tickets. Why should they do this, Carissa?
Please do it because there's so much money for you to have. You could win with Powerball and Powerball Plus at 37 million rand. Some small change. And that's the total estimated jackpots that goes down this Tuesday. So don't get left behind. Play Powerball for an estimated 18 million rand, but then you get Powerball Plus for an estimated 19 million rand.
I often wonder, do people choose between the two or always? Sure, you must play both, but I'm not going to make your choice for you. Exactly. But whatever your choice, just get your tickets and do it in store with a smile on your face. You can go nationallottery.co.za. You can use their mobile app. You can use your own cell phone banking app, or you can dial *120 *7529# for the USSD. Easy.
I love it. Since you've been on the socials choosing my outfit today, head on over there again. All those details are right there. You can find it at Expresso Show. And then Panda Pusha play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 37 million rand in total estimated jackpots. And it all goes down today. We want you to win big, so all you have to do is play now.
Good luck. So we are going to continue our journey in terms of our resources that we need to lean on. And we know that this year's Earth Day has a slightly different kind of spin to it. It's not just about the bigger picture and about putting pressure on governments and when it comes to climate change, it's about the smaller picture and how those small incremental changes can make a big difference if we inject a little consistency. So we put that conversation, in fact, to you guys a little bit earlier this morning, being World Earth Day, and this brilliant theme that we are rallying behind, our power, our planet.
Absolutely. And we said, what's one small change you're making to help protect our planet? From using less plastic to maybe even saving energy, all we have to do is inspire each other to really put some hope into that action, some action to the hope.
Completely. And I'm not about that, like bribing your kids. Well, I'm a parent, but a great way to incentivize your kids. Someone used a great example where, and I think it might have been one of our guests, in fact, I think it was Radar, believe it or not, a pharmacist who joins us, but they get the family to play the power game and everyone turns off lights. And if you are the one that is responsible for the most saving when you check that energy bill again, you get to decide how that money is spent. Maybe a trip to your favorite restaurant. But let's take a look at what you guys were saying online. And we've had a lot of comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for getting in touch. Let's start off the comments with our dark-skinned Han, who said, I would like to say that we must take care of our beautiful planet Earth and we must stop littering papers or even bottles inside of our water. Listen, if we love our planet, we must stop polluting so we can have clean water. And you said, enjoy the day on my behalf. Thank you.
Our brown-skinned gal, we love you. You are a hun. And I really do. Like, call a person out. If you see someone throwing something out of the taxi you're in, call them out, Pick it up. Let's hear from Nama now. Nama, thank you so much. Good morning to our awesome Expresso teams. Right back at you. I'm so grateful for your dedication to spreading awareness about taking care of our planet. You're always inspiring us to be better. Well, you've just inspired us. You have a blessed Earth Day. That is really, really sweet. Thank you so much. It's kind of our job or our responsibility.
Our responsibility as media to definitely shine a light on the Earth. We only get one of these, okay?
One shot, baby.
One shot wonder. So we got to make sure that we take care of our environment all around us. Many great things. What's something that you do or that your kids do?
I found during the COVID period, we became a lot more intentional about what we use, what we recycle, the waste. So now when we shop, we only buy what we know we are going to consume. And we don't throw food away anymore. And it's amazing by being preemptive in that sense and just thinking more clearly. And it's also helped us develop a better meal plan for my son, for instance. You can work things out. But I kind of give the impression that my house is like a restaurant where people can just order whatever they want. But there is sustainability underpinning it. But I think there is a little bit of that underpinning everything today. Zanele, thank you so much. Your conversations this morning have been enlightening and inspiring. And I'm passing on the comments from our viewers. They have loved it this morning. Well done, Han.
Oh, thank you so much, my friends. It's a team effort, guys. You know this. Cape Town and Joburg easy coming together all in the name of the nation. And Mzansi, thank you so much for being with us. It's always so much fun. But one thing I also know about us and every morning is we always got to get into the food. It always brings us together as fellow foodies, right? This morning, we are celebrating Color Your Plate with Koo that plays every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on SABC2. And Ritu Bensi is in the building. She's here to give us a delicious recipe that I need to actually read out because, like, it's complicated, but it's sounds so delicious. Listen, it is a creamy, or rather, sweet, tangy, creamy chicken with apple beet puree. Did you come up with this on your own, my babe?
I did, my babe.
Oh, my
You see what God is doing, right?
Oh, I can.
Preparation.
I love this for you. I love it for me because I'm about to eat it. I'm so excited. And Zanti, you can too because we always pass on the recipe. But Ritumeti, let's jump right in. You know, what inspired this dish and where are we starting exactly?
So the brief that day was that we need to be making a gourmet meal, right? And gourmet on a budget.
Yes.
With beetroot and using Mrs. Ball's chutney. So I was like,
yeah.
I had a gourmet meal with beetroot. You know? So I was like, yeah, anyway, let's try something. You know,
Puree, darling.
Puree is gourmet, Mosnana.
Yes.
That's what inspired the meal.
I love it. So tell me, where do we start as the girl who steps in the kitchen once a year? What do I need to know exactly?
So basically, we're going to start with the puree. What you're going to need is your lemon juice, your garlic cloves, your apple. Actually, that's the key ingredient.
Yes.
It changes your puree, it changes the taste.
I love that. Let's go. Yes.
Oh, let's go. Okay. Great stuff.
So when we talk about this specific dish, is it one that someone such as myself can also do? Like, it's not too difficult?
It is. It is.
It's difficult.
No. It's very simple for you to do. I mean, it doesn't even take time.
Okay.
It doesn't even take time. Ooh, child.
There it is.
It seems as if we're back in the show, right?
It feels like the pressure, Sana. Yes.
You know?
But I
improvise.
You see, this is why you are the girl.
Be smart.
100%. So talk to me about these flavors. Why do they bring each other out in terms of the apple and, you know, the beetroot and everything?
So basically, what happens is that with your apple, you get to have that sweetness that comes from it. And then obviously with your beetroot, because of that vinaigrette that's in there, you feel like actually you need to balance out your flavors. Because with cooking, it's all about balancing flavors.
I love
So that's what it's about, basically.
I love that. And why apple out of all things?
Can I tell you? I had not thought about it, but it so happened that in our masterclass, Chef Ruben actually, you know, infused apple into his puree and was like, oh, actually, you know, you learn every day. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's keep it moving.
Yes, this is why you color your plate with cuckoo. You're just learning. I love it.
So we're just going to blend this up all together.
Yes.
And then obviously at the very end, it's going to give you a very beautiful color and a very beautiful puree that looks something like this.
Love that. And tell me, in terms of this coup product, how has it helped to elevate your dish? You know, especially with you now saying that you wanted to use beetroot, you know, what made it the special thing that was going to stick out with this specific dish?
Because obviously the beetroot was the champion product at the day, right? So, and like I said, beetroot has like the bit of vinaigrette and like, but you need to obviously balance out your flavors.
Yes.
And taste. So I've noticed it's flavor, taste, you know, texture and all those things in between. So yeah, like I said, I mean, what's a gourmet meal without beetroot?
I love that. I love that. Okay, where are we going to from here? What are we doing?
From here, we're going to obviously fry our thingies, or saute rather, our vegetables. And then after that, we're going to be creating our sauce for the chicken.
Ooh, and is that what all those spices are there for?
That's what they're there for.
I love that.
That's what they're going to do.
Let's do it.
They're going to do the Lord's work.
They're going to do the Lord's work.
They're going to do the Lord's work.
Can I ask you, what's the most difficult thing about creating a dish? Because I feel like, you know, with us, we just look at recipes. I just remember from the things that I've seen my mom do and things like that. So that was almost like a recipe that got ingrained in my mind. But actually I'm going to create a dish that is never, ever a thing for me. You know, what is the most difficult part of that process?
Obviously, you're looking to create something perhaps that's never been created before. You're trying to be innovative.
Yes.
But also in that, you're trying to also not, you know, mess things up. So it's quite tricky because you want to get it right, but also you don't know if whatever it is that you're trying to implement is going to come all right.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Amazing. And what are you adding to those vegetables?
So basically, it's...
I'm so intrigued. I love vegetables, but I love them also tasting nice. So now I want to know what we're adding.
Yeah, because you still need to keep the colors, right?
Yes.
Yes. So what I've just added now, it's the, what's this? The barbecue spice and paprika.
Love that.
So you're just going to obviously saute this for like 3 minutes. After that, it'll be good to go.
Okay. And of course, this chicken, it looks absolutely delicious.
It's going to taste absolutely delicious.
Yes.
Hello.
So talk to me just about, you know, some tips that you can give us in terms of getting the chicken to be really just tasty, but at the same time, you know, nice and tender.
If anything, just make sure that you cut in between your chicken breast.
Okay.
Because that way you're able to obviously fry it up for a short time. And just before you take it off your heat, just add a bit of water. That's how you get it to be still.
Are you serious?
Yes. You got to learn something new.
I did. I've never heard of that. Cutting it and then I just put things in.
But because it's quite thick, right?
Okay.
You see now, the stove is betraying me.
No,
We gotta
don't
try
worry.
it. We gotta try it.
Okay,
We
while
gotta
the stove
try
is
it.
stoving, can I grab some utensils? Because I need to taste what is going on here. Because it looks amazing.
It will taste amazing.
Oh, okay.
It will taste amazing.
Oh, it's time for me to taste. I'm so excited. There's the creamy part.
That's where you get all the flavors. Right?
Yes.
Hence,
Okay.
it's like your creamy chicken.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I've got some veggies, I've got some chicken, I've got some puree. Yes.
You know?
Okay, let's see.
So everything has to just come together. Everything must just marinate together.
There we go.
How's it?
Yes.
That's how I got to the neck.
I like that. It feels like I almost want to say a 7 colors plate in one bite.
Right?
That's
There's that
that's what I'm
homely
getting.
taste
Yes,
to
it's the
it.
homely taste. Zanzi, she is the one. I am telling you, from me, the girl who steps into the kitchen once a year. She is the one. I
Also, you're
absolutely
doing it
love
this
it.
Christmas.
We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe I'll make this dish, okay? Especially because it is available on expressoshow.com. That is where we put all of our recipes. But you know that this morning, of course, we were celebrating the beautiful Ritumetse, who is part of the journey on Color Your Plate with Koo every Tuesday at 7 p.m., my friend. And honestly and truly, Ritumetse, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I feel like
Thank you once again.
it's just been so amazing to see you
It
just
has
grow.
been. It has been.
Thank
It
you so
has
much for
been.
coming through.
Thank you.
It's been absolutely yum, my friends. And I love it when we get to do this. You make sure, though, that you don't go anywhere. You're still on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And I tell you this much, there's still so much goodness on the way.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I can't believe 2 hours has elapsed, and we've got one more in your company. So let's get that final hour started with your national news headlines. Now we get started here where more than 100 undocumented individuals were arrested at the Beitbridge border post, and that is in Messina, over the Easter weekend. Now, Border Management Authority Commissioner Michael Masiapato says the arrests were made possible through the deployment of new surveillance drones. Now, he conducted an inspection visit to assess operations over the busy holiday. Masiapato says the drones, along with body cameras for officers, have already shown impressive results in detecting illegal crossings. The new tech will continue to be used to boost border security long after the holiday. In other national news, Transport Minister Barbara Creecy says preliminary figures indicate a national drop in road fatalities over Easter, except in Mpumalanga, where 18 deaths were recorded, including 6 in a crash on Thursday night. Now, speaking at the Kranskop toll gate, Creecy noted stable numbers in the Western and Eastern Cape and decreases elsewhere despite heavier traffic. Now, yesterday, thousands of vehicles packed national highways as travelers headed home. The N3 toll operator reported 1,700 vehicles passing through Moy River in KwaZulu-Natal every hour, and that was during peak evening traffic. Now, in your international news making headlines, the fatal lion attack on a 14-year-old girl near Nairobi has sparked calls for stronger safety measures in high-risk areas. Paula Kahumbu, head of Wildlife Direct, says such deaths are not isolated and urged the Kenya Wildlife Service to enhance risk assessments and communication. Now, she called for lodges and homes near wildlife to install anti-predator lights, alarms, fencing and sprays. Savannah Ranch, where the girl was attacked, lies near the open edge of Nairobi National Park, where wild animal movement is common. Meanwhile, scientists warn that snow cover on the Hindu Kush Himalayas has plummeted to its lowest in 23 years. Now, the mountain range stretching from Afghanistan to Myanmar holds the most ice and snow outside the poles. Its meltwater feeds rivers that supply nearly 2 billion people. A new report says snow is melting nearly 25% faster than normal due to climate change. Experts warn urgent global carbon cuts are essential to prevent catastrophe for communities dependent on this critical water source. And closing off your news for this Tuesday morning, it's a heartwarming one where a spectacle, joy and unity. Over 1,500 couples said "I do" during a record-breaking mass wedding at the International Pentecostal Holiness Church in Kanana City in Gauteng. Now, the event, held in a brand new 60,000-seat dome, the largest of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere, marked a dazzling first in the country's rich history, or the church's rich history, rather. Among the sea of white dresses and proud grooms were both first-time couples as well as polygamous unions, all blessed in one unforgettable ceremony. Now, priest Vusi Ndala called it a, quote, world record moment, with more than 3,000 individuals joined in matrimony. It was love, faith, and of course tradition celebrated on a truly grand scale. Some beautiful news to close off, and we get into some sporting headlines next. Here's Graham with the latest.
Thank you so much, my friend. Let's kick it off with cricket, and the IPL has delivered this year, and the Gujarat Titans, a big part of that. They're tightening their grip at the top of the IPL table, and they did it with a commanding 39-run win over the Kolkata Knight Riders yesterday. Shubman Gill with 90, and then Saisud Hasan, a standout star with 52, set the tone up front before some sharp bowling from Rashid Khan. 2 for 25 there sealed the deal. And despite a fighting 50 from Rahane, KKR never threatening the Titans' dominance. Now let's turn to football, and another fairy tale story. Leeds United have sealed their return to the Premier League after 2 seasons in the Championship, demolishing Stoke 6-0 and also capitalising on Sheffield United's 2-1 defeat to Burnley. So Joel Pirro notably has netted 4 in that rampant display, but he has been the standout player, and their manager Daniel Farke has now secured his 3rd promotion from the 2nd tier. The Ellen Road faithful can now dream of top-flight football nights once again. Now let's turn to the Laureus Sports Awards, and the incredible Simone Biles and Mondo Duplantis being crowned Sportswoman and Sportsman of the Year, respectively, at the 2024 Laureus World Sports Awards in Madrid. So Real Madrid, in fact, took the Team of the Year, while the incredible Rebecca Andrade, Lamine Yamal, and then Tom Pidcock also getting honoured. And then the amazing Kick for Life organisation received the Sport for Good Award. And then legends Rafa Nadal and Kelly Slater were also celebrated for their inspirational careers. Now, staying with footballing news, but moving to the top of the table now, Chris Wood scored his 19th Premier League goal of the season as his team, Nottingham Forest, triumphed 2-1 at Tottenham, now pushing them into 3rd place on the Premiership table. Incredible. Despite some early pressure from Spurs, Woods' header in the 16th minute, and then a deflected opener by Elliot Anderson, giving Forest the lead. Richarlison's late header, not enough, as Forest held on for that crucial victory in the top 5 race. They have had an unbelievable season. I can't believe we are getting close to the end of the Premier League season, but that's a wrap of our sport, at least for this morning. Let's get one last update on the roads.
Coming
Coming from a weekend from hectic traffic, my friend, we don't have too much crazy traffic going on this morning, but please remember to always be cautious and arrive alive. In the mother city, though, there is a road closure along Bade and Powell Drive at Monabisi due to the sand on the carriageway. Motorists are advised to please make use of an alternative route and remember over there to drive safely. But more than anything else, make sure that you keep yourself buckled up. We got a whole lot coming in terms of weather. Let's get into that. As heavy rain is expected to lash the coastal stretch from the Sunshine Coast to the Wild Coast, the South African Weather Service has issued an orange level 5 warning for disruptive rain from Port Alfred to Coffee Bay, posing risks of flooding and road closures. A yellow level 2 alert is also in place for the wider Eastern Cape, while severe thunderstorms are forecast over parts of the Northern Cape and much of the Free State as well. Coastal winds between Cape Columbine and Cape Agulhas may hamper navigation. Motorists and coastal users are urged to exercise extreme caution and just make sure as well that you're looking after yourself, please. Now, one way you look after me is by sending in your sunrise view. Okay, I love it when we get to see your side of life. That's what I call it. And it's literally as easy as snapping up a picture and sending it through to 063 036 9649. And this morning, a huge shout out to Sari from Colesberg, where it is going to be a little bit cold with 17 degrees Celsius rather. But this picture over here looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks like the sun is even coming out, and it's not just going to be 17 degrees Celsius, but you know what the sun does during the winter time. It likes to hoax us a little bit, but this looks absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Sari. A huge shout out to you, my love. Let's get into your temperatures for today. This is what it's looking like in Mzansi.
I suppose at least the rainy weather tempering the hot temperatures. I'm looking for positives. I'm a glass half full kind of a
Can
guy.
I give you another
Please,
positive
fill
to
my
fill
cup,
your
fill it.
cup? Yes, Olified is in the building, and we can't wait to see many performances to get our Tuesday off onto the best start. And also just a celebration of Earth Day means that we need music as well. And this is just the perfect soundtrack.
In fact, whatever it takes to inspire you to get out there and do something amazing. I like the idea of people like hitting a section of a river, maybe the Yukskay in your neck of the woods, some good tunes, get the pets out, just do something, get some dirt under your fingernails. Ooh. It is World Earth Day, and we're going to continue that celebration. We've been looking at it from sustainability, from fashion, from food, and we'll continue giving those plugins. And you can continue to inspire us on the socials. Let us know how you are going to be celebrating your World Earth Day 2025. It's our planet, our power. We'll see you now.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, this is what feeling good is all about. I am talking about us getting into a beautiful superstar's life, my friend. It is none other than Olified Keta who is joining us this morning to celebrate his brand new single, Apiwe, but also celebrate the fact that Durban, he's coming your way. He's coming on the 3rd of May, and he's going to make it an absolutely brilliant night. That's why you need to join him. But hailing from KZN, this king has stolen the hearts of so many across South Africa and beyond, and it is all about his raw talent, but also his beautiful lyrics. Let's give him a feel-good welcome, please. Everyone, it's Olified Keta. Oh. What's up, my king?
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Last time you were here, we were talking about stepfathers.
Yeah. Yes, now we are talking about
Apiwe.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, definitely.
Olified, talk to me, my love, because I feel like you found your own unique sound, which is always just so great for an artist to do. In terms of your journey, how do you feel like you found it and made it so complete?
I'd say I've mastered this whole thing. Remember when I was here last time?
Yes.
I told you that I came up with this sound that I created. I call it Afro hip hop.
Yeah.
So I think I've mastered it because, like, come on, we've dropped a couple of hits and people are receiving them well. So I believe this is fun. This is happening. Yeah,
we stand a king who has mastered the sound, and you really have. That's why I think that even the songs that you drop now, it just comes out even more and more authentic every single time.
Thank you so much.
But let's also talk about now just the collaborations that you've been working with, you know, or rather the collaborations you've been working on. You know, you've worked with some people. Which are the ones you've really enjoyed, and who are you hoping to still work with?
So a lot of them that I still hope to work with. Obviously, KO is on the list.
Come on.
Under God, if you're watching, bro. One day. But yeah, man, I've worked with, on this upcoming album, I have Mthunzi, I have Professor, I have, it's a lot of guys, man. So I'm really happy. I'm not going to mention all of them. It should be a surprise, man. It's an album, dog. So it's a lot of guys, a lot of your favorites are there. Some of them are not. Hoping we're going to get them. Yeah.
I'm already feeling heat. You said Mthunzi and Professor.
Are they?
What do you mean?
So yeah, there's this one called The Fun Day with Mthunzi. That one is a December song. Trust me, we're going to drop that one leading to December. It's going to be a Maza. I'm telling you.
And we love Mazas here in South Africa.
Trust me.
We are a Maza ourselves, in fact. Especially around December. Exactly.
Shout out.
Olified, let's talk a little bit now just about, you know, the ways in which you really just tell stories through your music. I think it's so beautiful.
Thank you so
I mean, from stepfather
to Tombe, Apiwe.
Exactly. What is the story with Apiwe? I mean, you haven't told it to us because it's a brand new song.
Okay, so Apiwe is a story about a kid he has to take care of his siblings because their mother died. He's 19 years old. And there's 3 kids. It's Balandelani Duze. The other one is in grade 1, grade R, and the other one is still at home. Apiwe is looking after him. And so it's a beautiful song about a story that a lot of South African can relate to. Understand it? Because I think most of us, mostly black people, we've experienced that life. It can be not direct, but it could be someone that went through that. You understand? So Apiwe is a beautiful story. In fact, so a lot of people are relating to it. The ones that don't know it are gonna relate, trust me.
Sure.
It's a beautiful story, in fact. Yeah.
And tell me, what was the most challenging part of recording this specific song, especially with a story like that?
It wasn't challenging at all.
Okay.
Let me tell you this.
Yes,
so
tell
this
me.
one Slinyana had this brazo that I used to work with. So he told me, yo, Olified, if you want to make a classic song, don't make a song thinking about a crowd singing your song.
Okay.
Just make this one song thinking about that one particular person.
Wow.
After you've dropped that song, it's actually a lot of people going through the same thing. You understand? So I was just on my Apiwe shoes saying, okay, what would Apiwe say? I want to write something about, because you know the name of the album is Muket.
Yes.
So a lot of music in that album talks about me. Either my girlfriend broke my heart, or my mother raised me, or me, I'm not happy, or me, I'm happy. Oh, you understand? So it's just that it talks about me. So when I had to write to Apiwe, my producer sent me a beat and was like, yo, bro, I have this for you. Listen to it. So I was like, yeah, Zin, for once, let me write something about someone else. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Luam Kabango from that brazo came, and I'm like, yeah, let me just try and write something. So Gunabantu that usually call me randomly to because bayabhilivela lento yokuthi ukhetha. So they would call me, yo, put Keta. Apio is actually based on a true story.
Oh, wow.
Yo, put Keta, I'm struggling, I have this and this. My parents died, I was going back to school, could you please assist me with the uniform? Noma ngingenawo amandla okubasiza abanye, but ayangena ama-calls and then kuzofanele ngibothe ngenze njani, you understand?
Yes.
So I was like, no, listen, let me write something about all these people abahleli bengithinta bethi, bro.
Yeah.
Help.
And can I tell you, I mean, I feel like you're always telling the stories of South Africans because even with your stepfather, there's so many South African families that just have a mother. You know what I mean? Then on top of that, now there's sadly and unfortunately still so many child-led homes where a child is doing exactly that, looking after their siblings. So shout out to you, Keta, for really just writing I think the lives, of South Africans, But then I also think then, you know, with you even saying you don't want to just make a song that you're going to hear people singing, you want to make a song that's going to resonate with someone.
With that one person.
The singing also happens because of that resonation of the one.
True, yeah.
So on the 3rd of May, that is where people are going to be doing the most, singing the songs.
Yes.
Talk to us about the show.
So on the 3rd of May, back at home in Port Edward, KZN, I am doing Qualified Keta live in concert. My first ever big show. So we've been doing these events, you know, the small ones, the clubs, the what.
Yes.
But that one is in Wild Coast Casino. They have a theater there. It's big. It's going to be my first ever big show. And it's crazy, bro, because people are looking forward to it. Already we have phase 1 sold out.
Dango.
It's going crazy, bro. People are buying these tickets. It's just amazing.
You better buy those tickets.
It's so amazing to see the feedback of it, so to even like understand and see these people looking forward to the event this year. Because honestly, I'm afraid, guys. You understand? But it's going to happen.
And it's going to be big, honey.
I hope so.
And if you miss out, you are the problem.
3rd of May, Port Edward, Wild Coast Casino, guys.
Beautiful.
It's live in concert.
And we will be there, Putwam. And of course, you know, with this big milestone coming up, what are the other milestones that are coming up in 2025? I mean, you mentioned the album.
Yes.
When is that coming, sir?
Okay, this one is coming very soon. So we already planned to drop the album, but then we had to move it back a bit.
Okay.
Because delays hence we dropped to Apio as a single.
Yeah.
So Apio was just snippets to say, yo, guys, we were supposed to drop the album, but we couldn't. Could you please...
A peace offering.
Yeah, listen to this
we'll
one.
Take the peace
we'll be
offering.
back just now.
We are taking it.
So the album we're going to announce very soon, because Apio will drop Nini this Friday.
Yes.
The feedback is beautiful. People are loving it. The numbers are looking gorgeous. But we're going to announce the album date very soon. About you just tune in to my socials. Yes.
Beautiful. I absolutely love it and was so excited for it. And also, we are a place of exclusives. So Oliver, please tell us, when can we maybe expect the album? Like, is there a month, a date?
Let's just give it a space of like two months.
2 months, nyana.
Somewhere there.
You heard it on Expresso. I told you we're
looking at June.
The stuff.
Yeah, we're looking at June.
Yes.
Around Labo, yes.
We get the stuff. You haven't heard it anywhere else but here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show because we're all about getting that premium exclusive content, honey. And Olified Keta is doing the things that need to be done. Olified, are you ready for us?
I am ready.
Come on. Here is your first performance of the morning of Zanzi. It is Olified with Ikamalangu Keta. Come on.
Uyazi kodwa uNkulunkulu uyamangaza. Kukhona isikhathi la ezokuhlenga khona. Uthola ukuthi uyayifuna into, uyayithanda into, kodwa uNkulunkulu athi cha, athi no. Uthi uyakhuleka, uthi uyakhala, uthi uzama yonke into. And only to realize was not going to last.
Babigama lami uKheta. Nami ngomunye wabantu emhlabeni abenziwa uwena. Umkhuleko wami munye bengicela uzungibheke nami. Cela uzungibheka ngithi usithanda sonke kodwa nami ubongibheka phela. Nami ubongibheka ngithi usithanda sonke. Cela uzungibheke nami. Cela uzungibheka ngithi usithanda sonke kodwa nami ubongibheka phela. Nami ubongibheka ngithi usithanda sonke. Yazi kusukela kudala bengilokhu ngikhuleke njalo. Ngikubuka imithandazo yabanye lokhu iphendule njalo. Kodwa mina wenza ngathi awungiboni. Ontanga yethu baneyimoto bakhile mina ngisabulawa nje amahloni. Lithi lizwi lakhe ngakusoli kodwa ngicela lo mthandazo umubona. Uveza uthando ngokuthi uthumele nje ingelosi la ngikhona. Ngiyathemba ukuthi uyangibona. Ngiyazithoba babigama lami uKheta. nami ngomunye wabantu emhlabeni abenziwa uwena umkhuleko wami munye bengicela uzungibheke nami cela uzungibheka ngithi usithanda sonke kodwa nami ubongibheka phela nami ubongibheka ngithi usithanda sonke cela uzungibheke nami cela uzungibheka ngithi usithanda sonke kodwa nami ubongibheka phela nami ubongibheka ngithi usithanda sonke nami singing hallelujah hallelujah uthando lakho alehlulwa nazimvula nazimvula noma ngihambe thuzile uhlezuna uzongithula umthwale emahlombe wena uthembisile ukuthi ngeke uzungiyeke uthembisile ukuthi ngeke uzungiyeke izitha ngeke zingihle nosathana angazange ngithenge babi igama lami ukhethe igama lami nami ngomunye wabantu emhlabeni abenziwa uwena umkhuleko wami munye bengicela uzungibheke nami cela uzungibheka ngithi usithanda sonke kodwa nami ubongibheka phela nami ubongibheka ngithi usithanda sonke cela uzungibheke nami cela uzungibheka ngithi usithanda sonke kodwa nami ubongibheka phela nami ubongibheka ngithi usithanda sonke cela uzungibheke nami cela uzungibheka ngithi usithanda sonke kodwa nami ubongibheka phela nami ubongibheka ngithi usithanda sonke hey ole fine yeah ole da da yeah da da actually I didn't want to perform this one. This is an intro to my album, bro. Oh yeah, this one is yeah.
I love it. It's Kamala Buketa by Ole Paketa. What a king, Sana. Hey? Can you already taste that the album's going to be scrumdiddly yum yum? Come on. The beautiful thing is that he's not going anywhere. There's still another song coming your way. Yes, it is the brand new one, Up Here, that dropped literally just last week. We told you we have exclusives here on your Feel Good Breakfast show, which is why you got to stay tuned. My KTZ family, what's still coming up on the show, huh?
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh man, I'm struggling to keep my mouth shut today because there is so much to talk about. It's Earth Day and South Africa is jumping on board. SA Harvest is turning up the heat. In fact, we are sweating in here. It's getting so hot and turning food waste into a force for good. The nonprofit has already rescued over, get this, 21.4 million kilograms of food and delivered 84.06 million meals to communities in need. That is insane. Their latest initiative, it's a national food rescue cook-off in Cape Town, in Johannesburg and in Durban, using surplus ingredients to serve up hope, to serve up a lot of flavor and some real climate action. And joining us to unpack all of this, Cassandra Potgieter from SA Harvest, to chat about how the culinary campaign is tackling hunger, food waste, greenhouse gas emissions, and also empowering us through that process. Cassandra, you're awesome. What you guys do is so far ahead of the curve, because people have been trying to get this right for a long time. The legislation often stands against you. The socio-economic realities certainly stand against you. Yeah. So the fact that you have gotten this far, amazing. For the uninitiated, SA Harvest, who and what are you guys?
So thank you very much for having us. I would love to say that it's a single thought, but it's actually a collective coming together. And it started off with a bakkie during COVID, rescuing croissants and dropping off one pallet. And Alan Brody at the time thought, we can do this. And this was his vision. He grew up with Ronnie Khan, who runs Oz Harvest, a very successful structure in Australia, doing a similar thing. And she convinced Alan to say, South Africa needs this. And he promised, and he delivered.
And he followed through. And what I love about this is you don't need a bigger picture shift. Just one successful story, one child having their potential unlocked because their belly is full. Boom, story solved. Yes. I love that. Food waste becomes a difficult one because it's not just a social issue. And we understand the massive disparity between classes here. So that is one driver, but it is difficult to get this equation right. Can you take us inside your world? Why is food security such a problem in South Africa, and how do you guys tackle it?
So, in terms of the systemic issues that we are facing, it's simply a matter of understanding that there are 10 million tons of food annually that goes to landfills. 10
million tons of food wasted every year.
That's right. And we have 18 million hungry people that need to get fed. Now, we did some maths. It's always lovely to sit and work out on a calculator, but in reality, if we save 1% of the 10 million tons, we get to feed 1 billion people.
Wow.
So you start doing the math.
That's wonderful, and also like disheartening and frustrating at the same time, because like, why have we not connected these dots? What are the biggest challenges? Why aren't we getting this right?
So I think it's just an aliveness to the possibility, and I think people limit themselves in the sense that what difference can I make?
Yeah, we feel powerless.
What we have very often is just having conversations with people in our network. We are able to have a home saying, oh, we don't have any mattresses. Thank you so much for the food that you guys delivered. And we say, hold on, we actually know a guy. And the next day, 40 mattresses arrive, which is part of our network just because people were aware of the need.
And now that NGO is getting a plug into your strategic network. Exactly. They're getting their 15 minutes, so they're more obliged to give you your 15 minutes in their space, and suddenly our net, our safe place net is getting bigger and bigger for the children that we're protecting.
Exactly.
I always bring it down to the children because ultimately they need the most protection. 21.4 million kilograms of food. Just mind-blowing. What has the impact been, and how do you measure that impact?
So first of all, when you think about 80 million meals, what does that even look like? I mean, you can't comprehend.
It's a country, yeah.
Well, it's if you align your normal dinner plates, it's from here to Cairo and back. That's the amount of meals that you're looking at.
Sure.
You fill up the calabash full, you can feed everyone in there 3 times a day for 3 months. That's how much. But when I have to take a step back, and it's not to knock what SA Harvest has been doing, there are 18 million people that need a meal. And with 80 million meals having been saved, you kind of see that it's just a drop in the ocean. It's just that tip of the iceberg. But it gains momentum and people start believing.
Well, the crazy thing is you need less than 4% uptake for change to actually happen. And when you talk about your 1%, that's the first bold step that clears the clutter away and gives people a true north to focus on, which is vital that all the NGOs can operate under the one welfare notion. We'll all be okay when everything is okay. And that's the bottom line. Yeah. So how does it work? How do you rescue the food? food? How do you get it to the organizations? Take us into your inner workings and speaking to how we can support or what you would need in doing what you do.
So in relation to getting a phone call and people saying, listen, we have 20 tons of pumpkin that needs to move, and it needs to move yesterday.
Otherwise, it's on a landfill, yeah.
And the thing with that is and it's unluckily, but the upside of that is the legislative cogs that need to turn to make the landfill happen takes a little bit longer. So there's a window.
Okay, I like that. I like the way you're turning that frown upside down.
Yes, and we actually get to a point where if you understand that landfill breakdown is anaerobic, that means there's no oxygen. That means the gas that comes out of there is methane. And that is 60 times more hectic than CO2 emission.
Wow.
And if you think about the fact that we've rescued 21 million tons of food, if you take, so the emission reduction in that is about 11,000 cars being taken off the road for a month.
Pay your green tax like this. Pay it like this.
So that's how we convince corporates to say, hi, we have this 20 tons of pumpkin.
I haven't done this. I don't think I've ever done this. I'm reaching right across the studio to give you a high five because that is just
It's mind-boggling.
It is so clever, though, because it's adopting a corporate mindset in the NGO space. And we all need to... Let's move out of the corporate social investment era and just call it an investment era and invest in our country and make everyone grow together. For those of us watching at home that want to do more, in our individual capacity, as you've realised, that's where the magic is happening. What can we do?
So, shop smartly.
Okay.
I know this sounds so obvious. Have a shopping list. Buy what's on there, don't overbuy, because it ends up going into the bin.
Leave the impulse at home.
Exactly. The second thing is know your difference between use by and best before. That's a small thing that people don't always consider, because if the spinach looks slightly unhappy, do we really want to eat it?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. There are smart ways of repurposing that. And it's small shifts like that where you can actually repurpose the things that you have that will have a longer term impact in terms of your waste and all of those ramifications. But on the larger scale, I think if I can give anything to anyone, it's just be kind and just care a little bit.
Yeah, just think about it. Well, if you've got kids, what are you going to leave them? That's what I keep reminding myself. Exactly. What am I going to leave my children? You guys are awesome. I have a feeling we'll have many, many conversations in this space. Powerful stats, and I love that corporate push within that to powerful plates. SA Harvest is proving that tackling food waste isn't just a feel-good initiative. It's a critical step towards a sustainable and equitable future. So thank you so much to Cassandra and the rest of her incredible SA Harvest family. Happy Earth Day.
Thank you, and thank you for having us.
Well, speaking about a powerful plate, why not get into this goodness right here? I can't wait. I'm salivating already. And it's all about that autumn hash, including all the vegetables that you might have actually let go in the fridge. We definitely need to make use of them. It's going to be so delicious for your breakfast, either today or coming this weekend. Not only that, we get into highlights of the I Grew It show, and that, of course, is with ABSA. So a lot of deliciousness awaits you on the other side of this very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you now.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. They say behind every success story is a dream that refused to quit, and you're about to be inspired, and I think we are going to be inspired, and we want you to tell your story. And we love the fact that ABSA and their new show called the I Grew It show allows us to get inspired in that way. In fact, take a look for yourself.
Dumelang Sanbonani, hello and welcome to the I Grew It show with ABSA. I'm ready to bring you unique stories of entrepreneurs who've turned their dreams into thriving businesses.
What's up, guys? This is Andrew from Something Fresh and Andy's Hot Chicken. We outside. Something Fresh is an Asian African-American concept that brings dynamic, flavorful, punched meals to the streets of Johannesburg.
Tell me about where everything started.
I think watching Jamie Oliver when I was 14 years old, and I knew I wanted to be a chef immediately.
Give me a Nashville, a lemon pepper, and barbecue wings for this young lady, yeah?
Raymond, you look like a dapper man of God. Tell me how you got into wine. Was it because you wanted the blood?
I grew up in a disadvantaged family. My grandmother, she was working at a certain farm. Corona came, she lost the job due to lockdown. And then I had to think now out of the box to say, I need to do something which will be valuable to my life, to her and other people.
Let's shift gears and talk about those I Grew It moments.
When you're doing well, you don't want people to know you're doing well. But when you are doing something amazing, you need to say to yourself, I'm the shizness.
Who's your daddy? Chicken daddy!
Keep learning, keep growing. And when you look back, you'll proudly say, yes, I grew it.
It was actually us the whole time. Wow, I can't click with my left hand.
I can click with neither.
I'm terrible,
It's
man.
so
I'm trying
soft.
to teach my kids how to click. I love that.
So beautiful.
I absolutely love it. Can we hone in on these gents? Andrew Leo, Something Fresh.
Something Fresh. I remember this guy from Joburg. He's actually at the farmer's market out that side, and the line that would queue.
Well, have you seen his promotion at the farmer's market?
Oh
He looks
my
like the life and the love
goodness.
and the heart and the passion of the
And
party.
the food is just so incredibly good. And I love that he sat down and turned this moment from when he was 14 into, I'd call it a cultural movement.
Yeah, but also honouring Gogo, honouring, I love it. There were just so many
Fun.
threads in there, and we buy into food emotionally first.
yes.
So if you're going to build a food brand, it needs to speak to that. That's your buy-in, your attachment. Yeah, I love that. Raymond Makwakwa, if you think of how difficult it is to break into the wine industry as a standard, now you're coming in there as a disruptor, coming from a different angle with a very localized view of a very European culture, let's be honest. I love that. The more South Africa can stake claim with South African wines, but that are made by the people, not by some big international brand. I love that.
so here
That
for
is
it.
representation that is going to shift that industry.
And it already has. I mean, congratulations, Raymond. So incredible being a game changer of entrepreneurship in our space. Yes, you do deserve a round of applause. I think it's so great, like you said, that his Gogo did inspire him to take that leap after COVID and say, I'm going to try something here.
But it's also like, how often do we have those ideas and you don't fuel them? You don't give that neural pathway any positive energy so that it can grow, because you just, it's not for me. Someone else maybe has done it already, or maybe someone else will think of it. If you've thought of it, act on it, do it. It could be your thing. There's a young man, Ludo, who is just had so many no's in his life. He's a young guy who kind of mentors me up, and I actually think I need another session with him. But he, after being given his 100th no, he was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it myself. And he went and started his own pasta brand now, that he's out there marketing to the big brands. He's now got his food certificates. He's doing it. Every barrier that he thought was there only existed in his mind.
How
it's just the
amazing is that?
fortitude to do it. So I love these kind of stories,
Oh
man.
my goodness.
Love it.
And
Ludo, I love you,
also,
man.
We love you, Ludo. I feel like leaps of faith always get rewarded. There's just some kind of like universal law that happens that when you bet on yourself and you really put it on out there, it might come with some challenges, but at the end of the day, you're going to win.
That being said, we are in the manifestation station.
Come
so we get to see this
on.
happen every day. And honestly, it's the algorithm of TV. It only comes into creation if you speak it into being.
Beautiful.
I love the fact that we are getting an opportunity through this series to see South Africans do that. No frills, no fuss, just their story, man.
And growing what they started as a small seed into something absolutely beautiful with the support and help of ABSA. I really love the Your Story Matters motif, because it is all about that, shining a light on stories that don't often get the limelight.
Yeah, and I think we often fall down. We pay to show the story, and we want to market the story, and we want to sell the story. But when the action itself tells that story, it's like with SA Harvest a moment ago. Every time you do what you do, people get you.
Yeah.
They understand, and that's a powerful lesson in brand building in the small to medium-sized business space. So I love this. There are so many plug-in points, whether it's the emotion, whether it's the culture, the family history, maybe it's an opportunity that's staring you right in the face. It all ultimately starts with you and your story, not copying someone else. You doing it from your own perspective.
No one does it like you, man. So congrats to Raymond. Congrats to Andrew from Something Soweto. And we can't, Soweto's Something Fresh. And we can't wait to continue, of course, supporting you in every way we can. Some chicken, some wine. Cheers. Why not?
I didn't even think about that pairing. Actually, brilliant. So a big shout out to ABSA for their commitment to empowering entrepreneurs everywhere. And this is a beautiful way to do it. So let's get to growing those dreams. And you can catch the I Grew It show with ABSA on the ABSA South African YouTube channel, which has a host of other great financial resources as well. So do a deep dive, man, as I say. Go down the YouTube vortex.
Let me go dive that way. Can I cook you something great?
I am starving.
Yes,
Please, we have eaten so many lovely things. And talking of those perfect pairings, I think in the kitchen this morning we have got a perfect pairing that is, maybe you've kind of hidden this before. It does feel a little bit different, but it's got that winter comfort food vibe completely. And who says you can't have comfort food for breakfast as well? It doesn't have to only be lunch and dinner. We are talking smoky autumn vegetables in a breakfast hash. Is that even possible? Oh, you know, in the Feel Good Kitchen, anything is possible. And if you want to cook along with us right now, you can head over to expressoshow.com and cook along. But I'm waiting for the beautiful smells to waft across from the kitchen. Carissa, please.
Oh, I love the clapping. He said pronto, and I will make it happen for you, Graham. This looks absolutely delicious as is, and I can't wait to do it from scratch to the end with some help from Cassandra. And we'll get into that in just a little bit, because this right here is inspired by SA Harvest's mission to fight food waste. And today we're turning the humble seasonal veggies into a breakfast masterpiece, showing you how a little creativity can really make such a big impact. And in honor of Earth Day and the incredible work of SA Harvest and what they're doing through their food rescue cook-off, we're diving into the kitchen to whip up a delicious breakfast hash using seasonal veggies and, of course, warm, comforting spices. We're proving that small changes in our kitchens can really create a big impact. And I can't wait to get into this with you. Is this something you feel like you go for quite often?
Yes, definitely the veggies, definitely you can see your leafy
Spinach,
greens, the pumpkin that always needs a bit of saving, sweet potato.
Even these, the baby marrows,
Definitely.
I keep forgetting about them, and then they go mushy at the back of my fridge. So this is a great way to avoid food waste.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into this. So
I'm going to
we've
swap
got
with
some
you.
oil.
You drive.
Yes, please. You can be my sous chef. And then we're going to fry up some bacon, but you don't have to use meat. But I think it adds some nice saltiness to this. Okay, so we'll start with the bacon. But tell me more about food waste and the importance of doing something like this to avoid it.
So basically, as I mentioned earlier, there's a very big difference between the use by and the...
Yes, tell me more about that.
So people always look at the best date, like it'll be best by, and then if it's after that date, no, we can't use it anymore. But you should actually have a closer look at the use by, because that's normally an indication when is it going to go slimy, when is it dangerous. And you can also gauge it by looking in the packet, have a bit of a smell.
Right. Don't forget your senses, feel it, smell it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's where, as a society, it's so convenient. Look at the date, no, done.
Right.
So if you really start engaging with it and thinking a little bit more creatively, and let's be honest, as a toddler mom, I don't have the space to think about how am I going to creatively give my child a nutritious meal.
Yes, there's no time.
I'm like, okay, how long is this going to take?
Can we do this in 10 minutes, yes or no?
And crucially, will she eat it?
Yeah.
So I found, especially using our pumpkin in interesting ways, using the leafy greens, they're not perky, they're not up there. You can do some really cool stuff to make it interesting and tasty.
And you know what's interesting? Besides, toddlers being picky, humans have become picky too, because I would say even social media.
Yes.
Food doesn't look aesthetic,
great.
right?
Yes,
And
yes.
therefore we chuck it out and go, nah, we don't want to use this anymore. But it's still very much within its use by or sell by date.
But look, I think also there's this misconception that if a potato has gone a bit, it's got sprouts on it.
Yes.
What do you do with it?
Right.
Well, babe, you just got to clean it up a bit.
Clean it up and eat it.
And if you boil it, it'll become nice potato mash.
Oh, I like
You can
that.
make it work.
Reinvent it.
Exactly.
Create
but
something new.
it's also that space to have the time to think about it. And I also think having had the scares in terms of, is this safe?
Yes.
Will people die eating this? Because I mean, there's also a point where on social media where people got really ill eating certain foods, and you sort of become risk averse, and you wouldn't touch it. You'd rather throw it away. Can't take the risk. But when there's a line between have and don't have, there's definitely a point of getting
absolutely
a little bit more interested.
And if you look at South Africa, I mean, just our economy in general, it is important to make sure that we use everything that is in our fridge. So carrots are also one of those things that we have plenty of, but we don't know how to use that. So gonna go in with some onions, carrots. We'll also use some peppers, yet another ingredient that we somehow have a surplus of. And then let's go in with some spices. So we've got cumin and paprika. So this is where our warming spices come in, which is really yummy. And then, of course, season it all with some salt and pepper.
Love that.
And then the veggies. We love our veggies. Give that a quick stir.
And also when the bell peppers go a little bit soft, they go in a meal. You cook them down.
Yeah.
They
Put
are
them in
tasty.
a pasta, blend them into a sauce.
Exactly.
Okay, so here is our, you said it was pumpkin, some spinach, our leafy greens, and all the nutrition that is packed in this is absolutely fantastic.
And it's super colourful, so it does look nice.
Oh, exactly. That aesthetic box is ticked anyway. And then you could use normal potato if you want to stick to the traditional hash, but we've got some sweet potato. I'll just add a couple of those in. Would your toddler eat something like this?
So needs a little bit more ingenuity in terms of hiding
the veggies a bit more.
Look, but it has become, as they get older, they can actually tell, so you don't have to do that any longer.
Yeah.
But it is about mixing things into, so if you have a soya mince going on, mixing the leafy greens into it.
That's
for
great.
the taste, yeah.
Even some tofu in here would be really good.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want to avoid the meat altogether. So because it's quite a starchy veg, I know it's going to take a minute to cook down.
Yeah.
We'll put some garlic in it, and then eventually we throw the bacon back, and then we'll get that beautiful dish over there that, of course, our beautiful kitchen staff, Oki, was on that and created that for us. And then you can add some eggs. You can eat it with bread. I mean, how would you eat this, typically?
So we'll add a little bit of some chickpeas, that kind of thing. Just to bulk it out.
Add that extra protein.
And a lot of the times we don't have the bacon element in it, and when we don't have meats, we actually do, I would, for instance, grate the potato to flesh it out a little bit.
Ooh, that's nice. Also different textures in the mouth.
There we go.
That is so beautiful. Oh, what a great way to use up our veggies in our pantries and our cupboard. I absolutely love this. Many people are definitely going to take this down. ExpressoShow.com is exactly where you find it. And thank you for the great work that you guys do as well.
Thank you for having us.
I mean, we really are trying to take those baby steps to make a big change ultimately at the end of the day. And I think this is definitely something that we can incorporate even from today. What would you say? 10 out of 10?
11.
11 out of 10, yes.
It smells good.
Mama, I made it. I love it.
It smells delicious.
Bring flavor to the table with Mrs. Ball's this holiday season. Show us how you use Mrs. Ball's chutney in your holiday meals and you could win a share of 40,000 Rand. It's easy. Just comment on the competition post with your dish on Facebook and X. On Instagram, share your creation to your feed and tag us both. Don't forget to use the hashtags Mrs. Balls and bring your flavor to the table. So grab your favorite Mrs. Balls chutney, get creative in the kitchen, and let's bring the flavor to the table.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Back with you just for one moment, and we've got some important information. Play your chance or take your chance to win with Powerball and Powerball Plus today, and you could be walking home with 37 million rand. That's the total estimated jackpot this Tuesday, so don't get left behind. Please play your Powerball for an estimated 18 million, then Powerball Plus for an estimated 19 million rand today. Wow.
Today, not tomorrow,
Come
not
on.
yesterday, today. So buy your tickets now in store or on the website nationallottery.co.za. There is the mobile app, there is cell phone banking, or just dial *120 *7529 and use that hash for USSD.
And it's quite nice when you go onto one of the apps when you see the countdown to the draw happening. It makes it even more exciting. We'll keep all of those details up on the Expresso pages, our socials, so go and check them out and then Panda Push a Play. Powerball and Powerball Plus for 37 million rand in total estimated jackpots today. You could win big and maybe even save the planet on this World Earth Day. But I think we need a party.
Please, I would love to give a little boogie. So let's get into the highly anticipated single by Olified. It's called Apiwe. Josie, what have you got for us?
Oh, yes, baby, it's exactly that. Everybody give it up for his brand new song, Olified Keta with Apiwe.
Olified Music, how may I help you?
Yeah, what's this njani?
Ngiyaphila bhuti wami unjani?
Ngiyaphila nami sis. Sis le number ngiyithathile page leni ku Facebook. Ngikubuza ngamthola uKet.
Oh, okay, ngicela ubambe kancane ngizokufundisela kuyena.
Uthi ngihlala nezingane. Esadadewethu omdala owayishiya emhlabeni isencane. Zonke ibheke mina. Uthi ngihlala nezingane ekhaya. Esadadewethu omdala owayishiya emhlabeni isencane. Zonke ibheke mina. Yazi nje kumanje iswela ukudla. Ngayeka isikole ngizamela bona ngingenelele. Kuyimanje iswela ukudla. Ngayeka isikole ngizamela bona ngingenelele. Igama lami Apiwe. Ngineminyaka ewu-19 kunengane intathe ekhaya engigadile. Zonke ibheke mina. Khona usihlelo wokuqala. Lona owesibili usiyamthanda. Bese kuba uEnzo lo wesithathu umagcina uyena ongiphathisa ngekhanda. Ngikhuluma iqiniso wabana lutho. Uma wabo wabengelutho. Angikwazi nasemakubo. Ngoba udadewethu ube uhlupho. Uyazi umumazi umntakama. ubeyithandela utshwala lube bathanda nabafana meke waqoma uzothola umntwana manje ngihlala ney'ngane esadadewethu omdala owayishiya emhlabeni sencane zonke ibheke mina uthi ngihlala ney'ngane ekhaya esadadewethu omdala owayishiya emhlabeni sencane zonke ibheke mina yazi nje kumanje iswela ukudla ngayeka isikole ngizamela bona ngingenelele kumanje iswela ukudla ngayeka isikole ngizamela bona ngingenelele ngicela ningisize ngokuncane noma i-uniform yesikole nokudla kwalona osemncane ngoba uyena inkinga lona wokuqala uka-grade 1 untombazane uka-grade R lona wokugcina usahlala nami ekhaya while ngisaphanti ibhayithi entambama okwabazali bethu kubufilifili bahamba mna ngingakahlakaniphi ngakhula nje kuyimi nosizi ekhaya besiphila sobabili uyazi ungumazi untakama ubeyithandela utshwala ubebathanda nabafana meke waqoma uzothola umntwana manje ngihlala ney'ngane esadadewethu omdala owayishiya emhlabeni sencane zonke ibheke mina webhuti ngihlala ney'ngane ekhaya esadadewethu omdala owayishiya
Another feel-good production.